From every corner we will rise and stand. Voices ringing out across this land. No chain too strong, no wall too tall. We'll break the silence, we'll shatter all. So raise your fist and pledge your name. We'll shout our truths and freedom's name. We're shipping up to Elgin with our battle cry. No topics off limits, no dream too high. Lock arms, speak loud, let every voice amplify. Buttertown unites, together we'll defy.
My shit will pep up.
How long does Adderall take to kick in?
Probably about 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Typically.
So about a half hour
You-
into this, you'll be like, hey, hey, hey.
Back.
I'm the animal. And this is the party guy. Aroo, aroo.
You do you consider yourself a lights up entertainer or a lights on entertainer?
Fuck yeah, I am.
I did.
I know that stage.
Yeah.
And it's weird when you do it all the time. And then when you get married and the person notices, and they're like, so you're very different around other people.
Yeah.
I think somebody pegged me like perfect. Who was that? Somebody fucking like, they're like, oh fuck. There was another girl that I was dating. She's not the one that said it, but somebody's your Steph. Yeah. Somebody said that I'm an extroverted introvert, and she's an introverted extrovert.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
remember hearing that and being like, that is smart as shit, and that's exactly what it was. I think it might have been Fredo that said that.
Yeah. He's wisdomful.
He is wisdomful. He's super smart.
I was gonna say you dropped his name twice tonight just to say things like
Fredo?
I've said this for years. It came from Fredo.
Yeah. But do you feel like you're an extroverted introvert?
I am definitely an extroverted introvert. Yes, because I am like that. The best thing I ever heard about whether you're an extrovert or introvert is not whether you like being home or out with people, but it's how you recharge your battery.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like the smartest fucking thing. So like if I'm out with people, I'm okay. I can be the social butterfly, but I can't do it for too long before I have to like be alone and recharge. And then I'm good to go the next time it's thrust upon me to be social.
I get that. Like when I'm over somewhere and I'm doing, like, I'm just fucking exhausted by the end of the night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's worse. Like if there's if you got to drive really far to be extroverted, and then you got to drive back and you're like, ugh.
Oh, that shit wears you out,
It
man.
does. It's so fucking exhausting. But like, I don't know. Do you feel like you're disingenuous when you do it?
No, I don't think I'm disingenuous.
I'm like, I genuinely want to make people happy.
Yes.
And I will gladly light myself on fire to
To keep other people warm.
keep other people warm.
Mm.
But I don't know. But sometimes I wonder if it's disingenuous.
I've never seen you be disingenuous outwardly. I have seen you outwardly project an emotion in order to instigate someone else.
Oh, the goat herding?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think goat herding is a perfect example.
I definitely do that.
Like you do that to me all the time.
I just want to get a reaction out of somebody sometime.
Yeah, and I don't see it as a negative thing. I see it as like I can spiral pretty quick, and when I do spiral into like a gloom, you just like you make a joke or something, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing the error of my moment right now, and I'm just in a little funk, and that's not really me. It's just this moment in time.
I don't. Heather fucking hates it when I fucking get in her goat. She hates it. Oh my God.
Andy does too.
She hates it so much. But to me, it's like to people who are my friends, dude, I love getting the goat of people I like. And I'll do that's like 80% of received goats are people who I love very much.
I not only acknowledge that, I understand exactly where you're coming from, because why fucking bother with those that you don't?
Okay. So the other 20%.
Okay. I set that fucking T-ball up.
The other 20% are the strangers I love to yell at.
Oh, fair.
Oh my God, I love yelling at strangers.
I was really hoping it wasn't like I have to be around families.
I wonder if it like, does that make me a sociopath that I like to just fucking piss off strangers? It's like, it's not like, okay. So, and it's not like random people. Like in my head, there's just people who are fucking asking for it.
Then no, that is not random people. That is not sociopathic behavior.
I'll just see somebody who's like, oh yeah, this person's gonna fucking get it. And I will gladly say the thing or do the whatever to get them fucking going. And man, I love doing that.
The best thing about that is like you can pull that off very well because you're learned, you know, you are very educated, you are very charismatic, you're very disarming. You've always had this ability to be the wrangler. You're the quarterback basically of any kind of group where you're like, come on, we're going to go do this. Or, you know, like, hey, you are now doing this with us. Or like, it's always like the shot caller. Right. And because of that, people kind of gravitate to you. Like the party doesn't start until John walks in, you know, like,
Well,
like
that
we
makes
can
me
be
feel
here
weird.
getting it ready, but it ain't started yet.
I remember there was like one time where it's when we were in high school, I think. And I was either in high school, like right after I got out of the military. I would say like some really biting mean shit to my little brother. And my mom was like, you can't, she's like, some people can say bad things and that's okay. But she told me there's something about the way that you say things that it hurts more when you say it versus others. And I always remember that like really sticking with me. Like, you know, and then now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was like in the mid 2000s.
Okay.
Like when I was like, I had like a really big funk, and that's like there was a part of me like a long time ago when everybody said this is my friend John and he's an asshole, and I fucking hated that. I didn't want that anymore. And or like around that time, that's when my mom told me that of like, you can't say this. Like when you say this, like it hurts extra.
And hearing it from your mom is just like
Hear it from my
extra
mom,
stabby.
And it was like my little brother, and it's like, why are you so fucking mean, John? You fucking garbage human. Like in you, like you're like an incredibly nice guy. Like if you were to say something bad about somebody,
You mentioned that a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
you can't.
I've been thinking a lot about that
You
statement.
can't-
You said like the happy fun guy cannot be biting. I mean, I'm paraphrasing because it stings extra.
It does. Like the jester can't be seen crying or being like excruciatingly mean.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Well, because that kind of makes me understand like what I'm doing with my social media stuff. Like I'm being pretty fucking vile, but not vile to the point of upsetting.
If you say it so many times though, like it doesn't have the weight.
It doesn't have the weight anymore. And that's what I'm thinking is like, I'm so upset. I need to lash out verbally somehow. And that's why I started really fucking doing the music again. Like started writing. Cause like that was the only thing that was getting out of my head without me actually physically doing something. And I don't want to do that.
I remember when we were in high school, here's a name from a fucking left field, and you were dating Laura.
Wow. Okay.
And I remember that you would like give her a love letter every day.
Oh, wow. You remember that?
And I remember thinking like, man, like Jay is making us all look like punks. And like how awesome is that? You know, and it's like it'd be something like you'd see on TV of like somebody who's like really caring and they really, you know, and they would just want to like just make somebody's day better and to have like a letter, to get a letter every day. I thought that was awesome. But like in your instance, it didn't work that way. She would just throw them in a pile.
Yep.
And I remember like that's still to this day with that shit. That's decades ago.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, shit, like if you can't, like you could over nice yourself.
Yes.
Or you could just over anything yourself. Like you could just do whatever. And like that's always one of those things where I thought like, and you're like, as fucked up as it sounds, like you almost gotta like pace yourself in being nice to people sometimes because they'll take advantage.
Well, that's true. Like, I mean, oversaturation is a real thing in any situation. If you come in hot, you got to stay hot, but then you're that level. You know, like if you dip, you're no longer like people will say, you know, what's wrong with you, because maybe you're not having the best fucking day ever.
Oh my God, I hear that all the fuck. What's wrong with you? Nothing. I'm just sitting in a room quiet. thinking.
Yeah, right. Like there is nothing wrong with decompressing and not being on all the time. Like, oh,
Yeah. My ma told me that my grandfather would do, and she told me this like it wasn't that long ago, and I do this. My grandfather would just sit in a dark room at the kitchen table by himself and just stare. And I fucking
Wow.
do that all the
do
time.
you really?
I just sit there and stare and worry.
Oh well, yeah. I get the worry part. I can't sit like still for very long. I get super anxious.
God, I literally I could just sit in the dark and just worry. It's the fucking nightmare, man. It's a nightmare. Just thinking of all the bad things.
Like that's
Just thinking in my
literally
head.
making my neck tense just hearing that. Not that like you're, oh John, you're so alone in the dark. I'm thinking you could be doing so many other things with your time right now.
Can't you fucking be busy doing other things?
You could be raging in your garage doing shit.
I'm not raging. I'm just fucking like worried about shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like literally, I think your words are the ones that are keeping me the most calm during all this is like, play the long game, play the long game. Don't burn yourself out. And like, that's kind of like the authoritarian playbook number one is wear them down. So they just accept whatever you fucking throw at them, or I'm sorry, throw at them is the wrong word, except for whatever dick wants to fuck me at any given time. I'll just accept it. Because that's the way it's feeling right now, man.
You just gotta, like, dude, like small little things, man. Like if it's just once a week and it's something that's well thought out. And I literally on my phone,
You make notes?
in a sense, I text them to myself.
Yeah.
And I have like, these are all like the things that I just kind of, I'll compile a thought. I'll compile a thought of something that I want to say. Sometimes, some weeks it's from that list. Some, a thing will happen like it did today where
did you post today?
the big garbagey bill. Yeah.
Your posts are really good. I'm not going to read it on the show. But
The big garbagey bill just got passed by the Senate. If I remember, I think they said like they voted something like 40 something times in 22 hours. I don't know if it was that ridiculous, but they voted a ridiculous amount of times and they didn't get the vote. They literally just beat it and beat it and beat it until they finally got a 50-50 and JD Vance was the middle. And Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, like how many times has she been the holdout and gone over to MAGA? Like she's done it every time. She's the one that like, if she would have just voted no, like the first time where he got impeached, like something would have happened. She's the clown that said, I think he's learned his lesson. Fucking.
did she say those words?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I honestly believe anyone who is voting MAGA, anyone who is voting right wing is being paid to. They're being,
I think it's fear.
oh yeah, but that's the same thing.
Money and fear?
I don't mean money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did use the wrong vernacular. What I mean is like they are being bribed into something, whether that be, do you want to keep your job, or do you want money, or do you want like, here, we know what you've been doing on the side. We have evidence of what you do behind closed doors. Do you want that publicly seen? I cannot in my heart believe that there are this many evil, maniacally wrong pieces of shit wearing human skin bags posing as people in our world.
So I talked about this before when there was the old Roman historian Livy, I think his name is Livy, who talked about why Rome existed and why it worked the best is because they had the Republic.
Right.
Some places had just an aristocracy and they fell to corruption. Some places just had one ruler and they fell to tyranny. And some places were just democracies and they also fell, but they fell to the mob. Mob rule is something that people are genuinely scared of. Like,
rightfully so.
It's just fucking crazy ass people making crazy ass piss poor decisions. And, one of the reasons why the Republic worked is that, when you had an elected ruler, they were going to make the right decision, even though the mob did not want it. But right now we are in a weird way being punished by mob rule. And democracy's punishing us right now because they're allowing the mob to work in a weird, shitty way. I mean, it's definitely it's a way of looking at it.
I don't agree with that. I understand what I think I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't agree that the mob is ruling, because I think only a select few are actually pulling.
Well, think about it.
Choices.
Let's go back to Murkowski,
Okay.
out of Alaska.
Okay.
If she had voted no,
Yeah.
she would have not only been because right now she is kind of considered a middle of the road person. She's always gone MAGA, but in other things that she's gone middle of the road, right? If she wouldn't have gone MAGA on some of these bigger issues, she would have gotten dropped by now, and somebody even more militant would have been in there. Would have been like not even a question.
So do you think, okay, because I don't understand why the Democrats side is doing nothing. There's a lot of people talking. There's people like trying to do lawsuits. Who the fuck cares about any of that? None of that's working. I understand it's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter. It is not going to work. It will not. I'm sick of seeing people trying to do things the right way. I am fucking tired of it.
Well, when Germany fell, they did the exact same thing. They kept trying to do they kept trying to follow decorum.
Yes.
And they didn't understand.
Yes.
The other side doesn't care. And they just.
This is what I've been fucking. In October, I wrote this. I sent it to you about the correlation between Nazi Germany and the rise of Hitler and the rise of Trump. And I wrote out, here's my expectations for everything. And when I got done writing that thing was the night we went out for fucking dinner and everyone was having a great time. And I was gloomy as shit. I was Pigpen in the corner, right? And everything was hitting me all at fucking once. It's like, I'm seeing what's going to happen, and it's fucking happening. And the worst part of it is that no one is doing anything. Now, yes, people are trying to do something. They're trying to do stuff that has been passed down to us, right? Like through like generations of like, this is how things are done. You protest, you stand up for yourself, you voice your opinion, you do lawsuits and tie it up in court. But what you just said was exactly 100% right, is decorum only works if the other side says, oh shit, I should follow that.
I mean, I just looked it up real quick. There's a book written by Sinclair Lewis called It Can't Happen Here.
Yeah.
I mean, they wrote about how, how it would happen in America. Nobody would ever fucking believe it would happen. It's like, and that's the way that it works. Nobody believes it's going to happen.
We got real comfy.
Do you have like I know my big thing as far as like my Rubicon was the personal army, which I did not think was going to happen as fast as it did. From my understanding, from what I've read online, it's like once you kind of tally up all the money, I'm not 100% certain yet of like exactly what the answer is, but it was like $140 billion is going towards like border security and ICE. 140 million, but they said it's 52 billion, or I'm sorry, 140 billion.
Yeah.
52 billion goes to the United States Marine Corps. So it's almost 3 times the amount as our elite fighting force is going to that. Like
to corral citizens.
And
like,
it is 100%. It is a personal army.
Yes, it is a personal army.
They don't have any identification.
Correct.
They have masks, and it's all done in secret.
And I also believe that the border patrol, that is not for keeping people out. It is for keeping people in. Or, I'm sorry, it is getting ready to keep people in. On the outside, it will always be to keep people out because we don't want to infest our blood with unnaturals.
I mean, I know like the Jewish people, like there was a moment when like if you were stuck inside. Like if you were stuck inside the borders,
that's
they
what
would
I'm
catch
worried
you,
about.
And then you would get sent to a camp.
Right.
And right now they're rounding like immigrants are the new Jews. the way that it looks.
Jews were not the first.
The Jews were not the first.
No. They were the largest group and
but-
the most rapid.
Yeah, but the Jews were the ones who were the number one enemy from the beginning.
Of course, because you had to work up to it like those giant fucking
and let's
evil.
just flat out say it. Brown people.
Yes, agreed.
Brown people were the thing because America is a white supremacist is now white supremacy is a thing. I'll even say like white Christian nationalism.
They're allowing it.
Yeah.
Why is that not being demonized? Well, because that's your fucking voter base. And not only that, but that's your army. That's your military right there. I'm not saying military. I'm not saying armed forces.
Well, but it was though.
I'm saying these groups of fucking white supremacists out there, these Proud Boys pieces of little cowardly bitches. I'm sorry. I don't want to use the word bitches because that references female. And I think females are like the strongest fucking thing on the planet. They're like, I don't know, balls. They're testicles. They're the weakest fucking thing on the human earth.
Some sort of sub ape.
Yeah. They're testicle apes. The little ball.
Quidjibos.
Quidjibos. Thank you for bringing back that shit. So the Quidjibos, they're gearing up, man. They're like, now's our time. White boys in office, white power. And it's boiling my blood that hatred is so well welcomed. I don't know what to do with that.
Well, I can accept it from white supremacists, and I can accept it from Nazis, and I can accept it from people in the Klan because at least they're not lying. It's the Christians,
okay.
the quote unquote
Yes.
Christians, that make my fucking skin crawl because it's like, it's all a ruse, man.
You and I both agreed they're not Christians. I don't identify as a Christian, but I know some amazing people who use Christianity as a foundation for their belief, and that's beautiful. They use it how I believe,
white Christian
in a good way.
nationalism.
The nationalism bullshit.
They knew back in the 70s that when fascism came to America, it would be a flag wrapped over the Bible. They knew it.
Mm-hmm.
They knew it, and it's happening. You know, at least like remember when we were protesting and that there was literally a Nazi. There was literally like a white supremacist was marching through the crowd with the 1776 flag and all the regalia of the KKK shit on his shoulders, the OKKK stuff. Like, okay, that guy's a bad guy. But then there's other people who want to like go to church and like have the exact same thoughts.
Yep.
And they're going to hide behind the Bible for why they do things. And they will clutch the shit out of their pearls when you tell them that they are worshiping an evil GOP Jesus slavery god.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's incredibly frustrating.
And they just push everything off. And I don't want to bitch about this because like bitching will only get us, so much. I believe you and I we have the same issues. I don't think we're divided on any of these issues. I don't think anyone who has a rational fucking thought is divided on this issue. I think people who think they might have rational thoughts are, but they're not. I'm sorry, they're not. That means they're not fucking paying attention.
I'm a on the fence voter. No, you're not.
No,
dude.
you're not.
Once you say that, you 100% are not.
Yeah. I have so many emotions about this, and I'm kind of done to a certain degree. And I've said it before, like, I don't want to be around these people, but you're right, is I do want to be educated enough to understand where they're coming from and why they're coming from that way and yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to poison my fucking life. I have enough shit going on as it is. I don't want more just rampant stupidity.
Well, I mean, right now, we're white. And we have a voice, and we are allowed to speak up right now. And I know a lot of our neighbors can't.
True.
But
this is why we have to, though.
I agree. But I do wonder, like, at what point is Palantir gonna like read your Facebook posts and like assign you a number?
It
Like,
has already happened. There's no possible way it hasn't. I'm sorry.
I do work that does involve the government, and nothing I'm saying is like explicitly like anti-government. I'm anti-MAGA, but I'm not saying anything that's anti-government.
We are not anti-government. We are not anti-America.
Yeah.
I would dare. I put this all on the fucking table. You and I are pro-America as it fucking comes.
But if it comes to a thing where like you have to give I got to write a paper on, how much I love Donald Trump, I'm gonna lose my fucking job.
I'm not gonna fucking.
Or
do
again,
it.
like if Palantir like assigns you a number, and if you base off of their AI algorithms,
which is why I think they're going that route. By the way,
and I all of a sudden, by the way, like I just got promoted. I just got a raise today.
Fucking A, man.
You know what I mean?
Congratulations.
But I mean, like, if that number comes down all of a sudden, like, oh, we got to let you go. Like, I'm worried about that.
Fucking A, right.
My wife is in the union. We're worried about something happening to unions. Like we're a target. I understand the thing. First they came for the socialists, then I said nothing. Then they came for the.
I will end the podcast with my new song about that. Good. Who the fuck cares? Anyway, but you're right. You're right. Like they are coming for all these people, and they're coming in systematically.
And we've already seen within 6 months, they've gone from only the worst of the worst illegals to anybody who's illegal to now citizens who we don't like
with zero criminal history. Zero.
Yeah, they're just scooping people up
because they're tan.
Yeah.
That's.
I think I on the way over here, I didn't get to read it, but I heard that there was a Canadian person was taken into custody and they killed him. He died in the detention facility.
I didn't hear that.
I don't know 100% about it yet, but like Canada, man, Canada fucking hates our guts. The reason,
rightfully fucking so.
Do you know why we have the Geneva Conventions?
Hmm.
Because Canada loves to torture people.
Really?
Canada. Yeah, dude, don't trust those nice guys, man. Those nice guys will gonna cut your finger off, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they've opened there's a detention facility. The first
concentration camp of America.
Well, technically the first concentration camps were
sorry,
took Asian people in.
Modern day.
Yeah. First modern day concentration camp is now in Florida.
The alligator Alcatraz
or alligator Auschwitz is more like it.
Fucking love that better. I don't. God, understand what I mean by love that. By the way,
Jesus but I mean, like, if it was $140 billion is getting dumped, and they want to build more detention facilities. I mean, they're going to start building these things all over
concentration camps.
Concentration camps.
Yes.
Yeah, concentration camps. Now I know, like, if you're an architect, you're not allowed to build things that are deemed like cruel and inhumane.
Interesting. So how do they get away with that?
So
that's a very good topic.
So my company does do detention facilities,
like police, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We do places where they detain people inside police facilities.
Okay.
But we also do prisons.
Oh, all right.
We do. But if the prison does or wants to have anything like what is it when they take you out of out of general population?
Oh, yeah, like solitary?
Yeah. If it's solitary, that's considered cruel and unusual punishment.
Agreed.
Technically, an architect can't work on that.
No shit. Like in total, like cannot.
Yeah.
No shit.
Like it would be. I don't know if engineers have that as part of like their thing. Like there is somewhat of a Hippocratic oath when it comes to architects that you won't design anything that will do harm. I don't know if civil engineers or structural engineers have anything like that.
Do you know anything about H.P. Lovecraft? Not H.P. Lovecraft. I'm sorry. Well, who's the dude in Chicago who had the murder house?
H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes. Thank you.
Yes.
H.H. Holmes had like.
I read the book twice.
A bunch of different architects work on his house, right?
No.
Because they.
Not a bunch of architects.
Oh, I thought it was like.
He did his own drawings.
Oh, he did it. My bad.
He did his own drawings. He had multiple
and then
builders. And he'd have the builders just all build parts of things, which is very similar to how, if you've ever seen the movie The Cube, That's how the cube was done.
Oh, I don't remember
There was
that.
multiple because they did 3 cubes and they kind of explained how the whole thing's done. And everybody said, "Well, it's not me. I didn't do that. It was just I was just following
Oh, that's
what my
perfect.
plan said." And like I had a professor that pointed out, he told us like, don't be like the cube just because you're doing your one little part and you're doing something bad.
So, but do you think that's how it's being done? Because there's no way this is just being like put up.
So, and it's possible because I could, like when I design an area, right? You can have an area within your facility where they'll build where they could do it after the fact. I mean,
Right.
that happens all the time where we'll build something and we'll be like, I can't
Makes
see this through
sense.
the code.
Yeah.
And they'll just give us a wink and be like, okay. And then as soon as you leave,
That's
they
gross.
put whatever they want in there.
That's really
That
gross.
happens. I mean, we can't. What they do with the building after I give it to them, I can't tell them not to. I can only hand them a building that is to code.
Okay. I mean that makes sense, especially legally, but you'd think there would be some kind of like overseeing group, like a municipality or something that would be like, no, motherfuckers, stay up to code. This is how fires happen. This is how people die easy. This is how infrastructure crumbles.
Well, so that exists already. That's your AHJ is your authority having jurisdiction.
cool. Are they doing it?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad that happened.
yeah, but you don't. But you don't get like people don't inspect your home after it's built. Like months later, they're gonna do something called like the final walkthrough where everybody has a final look, and that's when it gets its blessing. And then
Okay,
it goes out the
okay.
door. What happens like a few months after it's been had its final walkthrough and everything's been cleared, they can do whatever they want.
So that's probably how that's getting done. Is
It could if they just probably pay somebody who's a MAGA zealot.
hey.
Yeah, they'll pay a MAGA zealot to, who's a contractor to build some part in the building that they're gonna house somebody in like a 4 foot by 6 foot crate. Never take them out. Operationally, we can't tell them what to do, and they're doing everything under the radar, so you have no idea. You have no idea, and I don't know where like any of these new facilities are gonna go. I do feel like there's gonna be. Like Trump is definitely trying to target blue states, and Illinois is
he
definitely
fucking said it.
yeah.
Outwardly so.
Illinois and our governor is definitely one of the targets.
Yeah. Los Angeles is a big one. I mean, California in general, but
New York, he wants to deport the
saw that.
possible
Dude, what the fuck?
the candidate because they have a progressive in there.
But he's calling them like he's Muslim. He's going to bring in terrorists. I heard about that on NPR this morning, and then I heard the interview with the guy. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but he was so fucking well spoken about it.
Yeah.
He was so like,
What's even worse is the Democrats, the long-term Democrats who are fucking terrified of him.
what?
All the all the old school Dems in charge right now are terrified of this guy.
Why?
They don't want progressives in there.
I don't.
Because they get donor money too.
Oh my God! Fuck the status quo. I'm fucking done with it.
Oh yeah. How this conversation started, there are people who have been Democrats for decades that take money from billionaires and corporations, and they're beholden to them, not to us.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I want to fill the fucking noise
there's a-
here and just
yeah,
keep
there's
saying
a reason
this shit,
why
but
Bernie-
I don't know what to say.
There's a reason why Bernie didn't get the nomination. There's
because
a reason
he
why
gave a
Debbie.
shit.
There's a reason why Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was in charge of the DNC in 2015 and 2016, well, she literally planned with Clinton to make sure that Bernie wouldn't get the nomination. They timed the all the debates at during football games and stuff like that, so nobody would watch because they didn't want anybody to know how popular Bernie's ideas were. Oh my! I literally watched them lie in real time because I remember at the time when they had a debate going on, and they had like a viewership rating of like what would happen when people say things, and there's things that Bernie would say and it would get like a huge uptick in people that like it, and they would attribute it to what Hillary said instead of him. And it's like, are you watching the same thing?
No shit.
All lies, dude. The Democrats are awful. We have MAGA, and a huge part of it is thanks to the Democrats selling out the American people as well.
Right.
And really, the only thing that we can do right now is to vote out everybody who isn't a progressive right now.
Yes.
Like, dude, anybody in the Illinois election, dude, you could have a paper bag that said progressive on it, and I'll fucking vote for it right now.
Oh, I totally agree. I have no faith except for a very few select Dems in the country. And even then, they're more progressive. They're more about like fuck what's happened before because it's not working.
Tammy Duckworth in Illinois is the only person
I like Tammy.
I'll vote for her, and I like our governor, and everybody else can fuck all the way off.
I like Suzanne Ness too. I
I
think
don't know
she's
anything about
actually
her.
giving a shit. She's like not Elgin, but like Kane County representative. I don't know the fucking correct term.
That doesn't ring a bell with me. Is she one of your councilmen for Elgin?
No, it's not Elgin, but it's the bigger area.
Well, we have Raj Kurasmudi is
Who's a piece of shit.
yeah, he is a piece of shit. I can't wait to vote against him.
Yes.
He voted. He's like trying to pretend like he gives a shit, but he
No,
doesn't.
my God, it's so fucking fake.
But we have like Castro is in ours,
Mhm.
and Mayer or Meyer.
Okay.
Those are the two other big ones. So I don't know who Nest is.
Ness, Ness.
Hmm.
We followed her for a little bit. She canvassed the area. We got to meet her. Like she came to our door.
Did she win?
Yeah, she won this last one.
Well, maybe that's why I don't know her.
But like we've been following her on her social, and like she's doing these like town halls. She's doing like get-togethers. She's doing like group education. It's like, hey, here's what's actually going on. Here's the information you can use, and then if you need help, here's like come to us to talk to us, and we can get you in touch with people of Medicaid and things like that to get you on the right track. I heard this horrible thing on Last Week Today, which would be a great name for a spinoff for that show. Last Week Tonight to Today.
Last Week Tonight Today.
But there's a lady on there who says they're like the people who need help signing up for insurance, whether like federal medical insurance, most of them don't understand if you get a bill, you have to pay it. Or like if you get a piece of paper, not even a bill, but like a piece of paper that says, fill this out for your information. They don't know how to fill it out or that they should. They just think since they exist, they should just have all this information. So like they literally are like, well, why aren't we getting Medicaid? And you know, this organization is saying, well, you need to like fill it out. You need to like fill out the paperwork for it. And they're like, why? So like even after being told, they still don't know how to. And so like this organization is just, they say like it is so beyond stressful, not only to like try and help the people who can't do this stuff, but then being told by the fucking government that you can no longer help them. And even if they fill everything out right, we're not going to accept it.
Well, I am like sick and tired of people saying that the government is totally inept and they're lazy and they're stupid. Dude, that is the biggest lie told by Reagan. It is the biggest lie. There were problems. You know, a lot of that had to do with like a huge buildup from the Cold War, you know, but like, dude, like government won World War I. Government won World War II. Government, whether you like it or not, built the bomb and kept it secret. Like the government got us to land on the moon.
Right.
The government got us and won the space race. You know, and then like all of a sudden, like the biggest fucking scam of our life was when Reagan convinced everybody, you know, the worst thing that you can hear is I'm with the government, I'm here to help. And then convince everybody that the governments are full of dum-dums.
Dude, I heard another story on NPR. This is a perfect analogy.
By the way,
for
the
what you're
Ness
saying.
is on the other side of the river. That's why I didn't know.
Oh, fair enough. So, I was listening to this story about a guy who, so the reporter, he said he got like 300 names of people who were fired like day one of the cuts, right? And he goes, I don't know who to talk to, so I'm just going to start with like Alan A. Aardvark. Okay. He goes, I'm just going to talk to him. So he calls him up and he says, "Can I come in interview you?" And he goes out and spends like 3 days with this guy. What he did for the US government was he invented an algorithm of mathematics that said, if you're lost at sea, this mathematical equation will say how far away from the original site you got lost at.
So what you're talking about was a book written by Michael Lewis. And he literally writes
Oh,
about
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Michael Lewis. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Michael Lewis.
Yeah. So, and then,
I read that book.
oh, okay, very cool, very
Yes,
cool.
yeah.
And like, my favorite part about that was like, he just picked this one person that he had no idea what they were going to do, like how important they were. And literally he invented this math that said, we are going to save human beings around the world.
By the shape of something and how the current
Yes,
makes it
yeah.
travel around the world.
And then it took the guy, the mathematician, 3 days to go, why are you so interested in this kind of math? He goes, no, I'm interested in the people who got fired from the government. He goes, oh, I didn't know. I thought you were just super interested in my math problems. But like, that's the mentality, right? It's like these people are doing these amazing, fundamental, earth-changing things for the good of humanity. And then the fucking assholes are saying, you're worthless. You need to be cut because your job doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think the name of the book was called the Premonition.
I don't remember that part.
So the Premonition was, and the Fifth Risk.
Okay.
The Fifth Risk is when they initially started talking about that, but the Premonition was like kind of his follow-up book that he did. I highly recommend it. Michael Lewis is hands down like one of my favorite authors, and when he does the audiobooks, he actually reads his own audiobook, which is
Oh, because he had a really
very
good voice in the
yeah.
interview.
Michael Lewis is great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But just so you know, Michael Lewis is the guy who wrote The Blind Side. He wrote Moneyball.
I knew Moneyball.
He wrote what was the other big one? The Big Short.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot they
Yeah.
meant to mention
Michael
that.
Lewis. He was like a financial guru, and he's like, I got paid like a shit ton of money and I didn't know anything about finance, but they told me to tell everybody that I did.
Yeah.
He's like, I made a shit ton of money and like I knew it was bullshit and I wanted to do something else with my life. So
I love that.
he's incredible at making boring things very interesting.
That's what he said. He said he loves looking for characters when people don't know that they're characters.
He has his own podcast too, by the way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, right now he's been doing a podcast about like why people make bad decisions was one of the seasons he did. I think in the current season he's doing things about gambling, like online gambling.
Like a whole season on it?
Yeah.
I would get bored of that.
Well, no, you wouldn't. That's the thing is he's incredible at making things
I see what you're going.
he's
for.
incredible
All
at
right,
making
all right.
things that should be boring incredibly. I mean, he wrote The Big Short, for Christ's sake.
You're a big
Moneyball.
short.
Like Moneyball's about crunching numbers on athletes. Like it's like, how do you make reading the back of a baseball card interesting? But he did. And to the point that they made a movie out of it.
Okay, so here's my deflect with this. I've seen the movies. I've seen Blindside. I've seen Big Short. Big Short was good. But I've seen Moneyball. Moneyball and Blindside are fucking dull as shit.
I hate Blindside.
I hate Sandra Bullock. Like,
Yeah, I do.
I have an unnatural obsession with disliking her, and I honestly don't know why, outside of the fact that I do not like her.
Do you
as
feel
an
good that
actress.
you hit her in the head with an
I didn't hit
acorn?
her in the head. I threw a pine cone at her. I didn't hit her in the head with it. I did throw. I was a little drunk.
Were you?
I was.
That makes me so proud of
this-
you. So proud of you.
My buddy who I went to school with, his parents bought him a beach house. And then, yeah, I know. I know. I was like, I live in a really bad neighborhood.
Ocean Beach House or Lake Beach House?
Off of the coast of Georgia.
No shit.
Yeah.
Holy money bags.
I mean,
Batman.
it wasn't like on the coast. Like, it wasn't like on the beach. Like, everything on that island, he lived on an island, was a beach. So, but like his property backed up to like 5 houses, kind of like how yours is. And then one of them was Sandra Bullock's like summer house or something like that. And we saw her out there one day and I was like, I fucking hate you.
I would do the same thing. I want you to know the hatred that you infused in that pine cone. I was there in spirit in that pine cone. I like that you just whipped my hatred into that pine cone onto her property.
There is
I hope it grew a tree that fucked up her plumbing or something. I hope it grew and screwed up her so I don't know, screwed up something on her property.
like you couldn't sell it anymore. It was too fucked up.
Now your septic field is fucked.
I am not proud of that. I need that on the record. Like looking back on it,
I am.
When I was young, I was like, yeah, I did that. And the older I get, I'm like, what a fucking asshole thing
Why?
to
For growing a
do.
pine cone?
Yes. Like I did it like
So?
belligerently. It wasn't
That's the
like
only way to
I didn't
do
like
it.
lob it. I didn't like
the
pretend it was a
only way to
grenade
do
as a
it.
kid. I was like, I fucking hate your movies.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Miscongeniality, this bitch. Oh, again, I hate using that word. Okay, I'd rather use cunt than bitch. Cunt does not bother me at all,
You're a true Scotsman.
and it weirds me out that people do, because cunt does not mean vagina. Bitch is actually a female term, and I don't
dog.
want to. Yeah, right.
I like dogs.
I like dogs
And females.
and every female who has ever called herself like a badass bitch, I fucking love them.
I do
So
too.
I don't get the dichotomy of like, why is bitch a negative thing? So I hate using it in my own wording. But cunt does not make me think of a vagina like how it does everyone else. It makes me think of a lesser person, period. I don't think of anatomy. I just think you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, anatomy.
I was going to say, if we ended the show right there, it would be the most aggressive short show we've ever done. Like it was really upsetting lead in, which is how they tell you to make good entertainment, by the way, John.
Speaking of good entertainment, do we have any emails?
We do have emails. And if I would have been smart, I could have, I like that I pawned that off really quick, that it was your fault that I didn't have that open. And,
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Totally
talking a
my
little bit
fault.
longer to kind of
Do you want
open
me?
it up.
I
and
can
sound.
I can talk about my book right now.
Are you writing a book?
No, I'm reading a book.
Why aren't you writing a book? If you can't tell, the Adderall kicked in.
Oh, did it?
Jesus Christ,
Wow,
it did.
Look at you.
You see
All
that?
of it.
You see that?
But
that-
this one went up to 11.
the gloom kind of went. Hold on, we know the world sucks. Push that back a little, so that you can be a little more at peace.
Everybody, this is Jay on Soma.
And Zima.
And
This
Zima.
is Jay on Zima.
Zima tastes like zit.
What book are you reading?
I am reading a book. There's a really awesome author. Oh, now I'm not prepared.
Is it Mick Lewis? Is it Mike Blue?
Michael Lewis.
Mike?
Michael Lewis can't lose. It is called The Dawn of Everything.
The Dawn of Everything.
Yep, and it's by David Graeber and David Wengrow. David Graeber, I read his book Bullshit Jobs. Do you remember me talking about that?
Yes.
So Bullshit Jobs is awesome. David Graeber, he's passed away, unfortunately, but he's an amazing writer, and I like him because he's an anarchist and he's an anthropologist, and the way that he sees the world is incredibly interesting because of those two things that he has as part of him.
That is a nice.
And the Dawn of Everything, I'm not done with it now. I'm probably about like a quarter or a third of the way in. But right now, like he's setting it up to where he brings up a point that say I don't think they even taught me this in college, and I didn't know. So when America was created, it was like kind of towards the latter end of the Enlightenment, right? And the idea of what inequality meant didn't really exist before then. Like nobody really talked about being equal or not equal. You know, you just had kings and they were put there by God, and that was just it. And you were just born in your place. You know, the idea of equality was just a silly concept. But the people who actually started to bring it forward on what equality what inequality really meant was Native Americans. Like we went to America, and it's a completely different world, completely untouched by Western civilization. And they lived this egalitarian society where like they were truly free. Like they had freedoms that the West didn't have. And there was I think there's like some question on how it actually happened, but they had like some they had some Catholics, like the Catholic people that were living over there. You know, it may have been them trying to like essentially say like, well, this is what the Native Americans were saying. It's not us. And they kind of started writing a lot about the like kind of how they lived their life, where, you know, they had chiefs, but you didn't have to listen to a chief. You know, sometimes they were there, like, you know, in sometimes during the year they had a chief, sometimes they didn't. You could there was no thing with like property. You just kind of went wherever you wanted and you did whatever you want. As long as you didn't like really hurt anybody, you could do whatever you wanted. And how, you know, there was one of the chiefs that was over there. He actually came to France and spoke to people and was saying like, you know, your idea, you guys want to call yourselves free and you guys are living in this great society and your Enlightenment ideas are crap. It's like, this is this is the world that you live in. You have all this personal property and you work for these lords and you give them all of your money and they get to live these great lives. And like, you're not free. Like, all of us live like kings where I live, and you guys live in squabble for nothing. And like, that really, really affected a lot of the Western thinkers. And Jacques Rousseau was like one of the original people to come up with the idea of what equality and inequality were. And David Graeber and David Wengrow point out like those discussions with the Native Americans and with that chief and influenced a lot of the French thinkers on what the world could be. And, you know, like the Declaration of Independence and all the founding fathers, like they were influenced by those ideas. Like the idea of what America is was heavily influenced by the Native Americans that were living here that actually lived in a real society. But the thing that's kind of weird and gross about it is that there's a lot of Western thinkers that kind of took those ideas and changed it from hey, you know, we're not living this great life because we have kings and queens and all these people that rule over us, and this aristocracy gets to own everything and we have to, like, they're just leeches on us. They took that and just said like, well, this is where the beginning of the noble savage came from. You probably heard that before.
Oh, I have, yeah.
So the noble savage was like, you know, before us Westerners showed up, these were just, you know, primitive, small-minded people that didn't know any better.
Sounds a lot like what's being preached for today.
And they don't have ships and guns and all these things because, you know, they're just a simple.
Why would you need it?
Simple, dumb people, and you know, and the ideas of like how the West got to where it was because there was this evolution of society, you know, where people went from like primitive, childlike thinkers, you know, and then the agricultural revolution happened, and then it all kind of went downhill from there. And then, you know, but like a lot of the people, like the idea, like Joseph Smith.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the guy who invented capitalism, like he used a lot of the thoughts of, you know, if we just work together, you know, and move beyond these primitive people,
Jesus Christ,
we could make a better place. So like a lot of these,
is that the mentality that like, that's what boomed capitalism is? Like, you don't have to be poor like these people. You don't have to be primitive. Like these people.
Exactly. Like we're evolving from a primitive state. You know, and even there's a guy named Adolf Loos, who was an architect who came up with the term ornament is crime. So when people see buildings and they got rid of all the ornamentation on architecture, you know, all the symbology, things like that,
the cool shit,
all the cool shit. So one of his reasonings, and they would say like ornament is crime is actually the name of one of the works that he did. I actually went back and read it. And the reason why Adolf Loos, one of his like core reasons was that primitive people have tattoos. And it's a primitive thing to just have like primitive, dim-witted symbols on things. And we should eliminate things like that because that's what small-minded, childlike, dumb people would have.
Wow.
It's something that savages have. So we have to shed that and go to a purer form. And and that's something that people forget, that part of architecture. And there's and people just kind of accept it, and like in architecture, in capitalism, in political theory, was the idea that the world was just full of savages and they evolved away from it. And here we are. We're making the world a better place. Aren't we great? How great we are. And it's all this completely whitewashed bullshit.
Yeah.
And from what I'm reading now, like they're kind of laying the groundwork for how like the agricultural revolution it wasn't like this simple thing that just happened. Like it happened over 3,000 years. And like, again, like there's all of these assumptions that were made hundreds of years ago that modern day anthropologists look at it and be like, none of this happened. This is all just complete bullshit. But then once you start to question that, like seriously, like you have to question all of it. Politics,
As so you should.
art, our whole financial system, our whole everything is based off of this idea that we're evolving from something smaller, and it was never that case. So I'm not done with it yet, but it's very interesting.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
And that is called The
I'm
Dawn
taking-
of Everything, A
Thank
New
you.
History of Humanity by David Graeber and David Wengrow.
David Wingrow.
Wengrow.
David Wingrow. And then what's the name of the book? Hold on. You're just going to say it. Ready? Yep.
The Dawn of Everything, A New History of Humanity.
I love technology. I hit just like speech to text, and it just started like filling up the screen with everything you were saying. Because I'm like, I'm going to look up this book when we're done. I was thinking like maybe I should
It
just
was
ask.
I wish I would like take notes on the stuff that I want to say.
Highlight shit. Put
I
little
probably should.
Post-it notes in.
Because I'll sit there and I'll try and bring it up here.
Yeah.
And then
Oh my God, I
then
know
I
what you
listen
mean.
to it like in my car when I'm driving to work. I'm like, God, I sound like an idiot. I'm not like
You are the only one
Doing-
thinking that way. Okay?
I am not
Get out of your fucking head.
I'm not doing anybody a favor. I'm screwing everything up.
Stop.
Nobody loves me.
You That's like the fat kid credo right there. No one will ever love me. My dad used to hammer in my head all the time. He goes, maybe you shouldn't eat that extra piece of cheese. No one likes fat dick. No one's going to fuck you if you're fat. I remember him telling me this when I was 10. I remember it so vividly.
Thanks, Pops. Nobody likes fat dick. Was he on Coke at the time?
No, Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Okay, so we have some emails.
Okay.
They're all from one person. I mean, he's the only person who's listening anyway, so.
Well, when we did our other podcast,
Yeah.
this is how it started. It all started with one person.
That's true.
It
That's
all
true.
started with one person just writing all the questions.
A lot of them.
If anybody out there, any of the hidden 20,
Yeah.
anybody wants to write in, you don't have to give your name. You don't have to.
Oh, and you can give a fake name
You
if
can
you
give
want
a fake
to.
name. You can do whatever you want.
I will not read your email. I promise. You can send it from your real email. We are serious about keeping shit masked up if you want it masked up.
Yeah. So write in. It makes the show. I like the connection with the show. I know.
do too.
I know we've been doing this without doing this, but it's something that I really like. And I hope I'm not like pushing you into this. I feel like I
No,
forced that a
my
little bit.
God. This was always my favorite part because like the last show was 2 hours per episode, and the first half was always like, what have you been up to? Let's talk about like this one thing that we really want to talk about. And then I think it kind of runs its course because I think if we were to do like the whole episode about politics, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking drained at the end of it.
Yeah. It's fucking
Let alone
exhausting.
someone listening.
Gotta do the long haul. What's the email again, real quick, so people know?
Oh, the email is, I will tell you right now, John, I'm really glad you asked me. The email is, obviously, I'm going to tell you because, welcome to Buttertown at gmail.com. It's welcome, to Buttertown at gmail.com.
Awesome.
And the only reason we flaked on remembering that is because you and I quickly made it last episode and I have not looked at it since. Okay, so we did get, we posted one day early last week because I had shit to do this weekend. And we had the listener. We had Pez right in like right away, like the same day. And I was like, okay,
Thank you, Paz.
thank you, Pez. And like, not only did he like write in right away with a question, motherfucker gave us enough content. Like we could go an extended episode with this. We have a lot of questions. Did you read them beforehand?
I did.
I will be honest. I only read half of them because I kind of wanted to be surprised. I like going into shit unprepared.
I read them and I thought, that's a lot of questions. That's good.
Let's do it.
I don't remember them now, but I do.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of
And
them.
I believe you and I started this out. We agreed decades ago, at least a decade ago, that if someone's going to take the time to fucking write, we will take the time to answer.
Yes.
Do you still believe that?
True fact.
Okay, cool. So he starts off with, I sure hope I'm the first email. Well, Pez, not only are you the first email,
You're the only email.
he has a nice comment because I listen because my friends are talking, and to me the show is hanging out with you guys. But I'm a ghost because you sure as hell can't hear what I'm saying. I won't read everyone's email if they don't want it to be read, but like that is like the perfect summary for how I would feel if I was listening to like my friends talk. And I always push you and Bob for like, you guys should do a podcast together because you're so fucking smart and so like good at bouncing off of each other. And I know I'd be screaming into like my car, just be like, no fucker, it's this.
Yeah.
So, things to talk about. Nipple play, yay or nay?
Nay. No way. It's way too ticklish.
Really?
Way too ticklish. I don't like it when anybody touches it. That's like, you know, you remember
Did you say it?
do you remember
do you
back
just have
in, like,
one?
when we were in junior high
Yes.
and giving people titty twisters is
Yes.
like a fucking thing that
It,
would happen
it was
all the
fun
time?
to do, apparently.
No, it was the fucking worst. And
It
some
was
people-
horrible.
People would do it all the time. Dave Campos would do it all the time. And
Really?
it would hurt. Like almost so you bleed. I mean,
never did it to anyone.
dude, it happened all the fucking time and I hated it. At this day, if somebody did that to me, I would punch you directly in the mouth. I'd throw my life away to punch you in the face.
Well, I mean, don't touch
Don't
someone
fucking
else's
touch 'em.
nipples. That just seems invasive. I mean, it is. That's the fucking definition.
Yeah, it is invasive.
I would say on me, no, just because I don't feel like I don't get it. On someone else, fuck yeah, all fucking day. I love nipple play on someone else.
Whatever floats their boat. If it makes them happy, I'll do it. Don't touch mine.
What superpowers would be horrible in the hands of the wrong person?
Well, there's so we could-
All of them.
yeah. I mean, being a president and being a huge piece of shit. Having the superpower of being a president.
So the first thing I thought about when I read this was Worm, the book Worm, and like you would be introduced to these superpowers, and like the immediate first thought would be like, well, how could that be a superpower? How could that be like something that could be used for nefarious means? And the fucking writer, Wildbow, did. Like they would take like the most mundane thing and turn it into something
Controlling bugs.
amazingly grandiose. Yeah, like bugs is just like, ew, it can be creepy. Oh no, you didn't think that you could communicate over extreme long distances or teleport with fucking bugs, but like they worked out the science on how that shit could happen.
Well, I the reason why I really liked that was like the girl.
Yeah,
What was her
Skitter.
name? Yeah, Skitter went out of her way to like breed like black widows to have
Yeah.
them to use them.
Yeah.
And to like be able to have their like to harness their silk and everything.
And the silk for her costume.
yeah, so
yeah.
like it was very well thought out of like what are all of the things that I could do to like really exploit this. So I thought that was really good. Like I remember the very first guy that she went up against, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
specifically
yeah.
having thousands of black widows like
Overwhelmed, like in
sting
the guy's
him,
mouth.
sting him in the dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Oh, and like he like had mentioned like it goes necrotic. Like the guy was like almost impervious to like pain.
that's right, because he could explode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
that was his power.
but he was like super strong.
Yeah.
Nobody could really hurt him. Like so she did everything she could as somebody with bugs to take down like a city level thug. And he gets bigger and bigger. He's like the smallest guy out of everybody.
Yes, and then she can eventually take down Godzilla with bugs.
Superman.
Yeah, well, I mean that the even harder part. Yeah,
Yeah.
that gets to the end.
Yeah, they just kind of work
I
their way
didn't
up.
want to give away that much.
Oh, nobody's gonna read.
No one's gonna read it. It's
It was
really
like-
long.
It was 160 hours.
So, Pez, to your question, I don't think there is a definite answer because taking any kind of power into the right mindset and extrapolating it into what it could be under the wrong circumstances and in the wrong hands could be devilish in any circumstance. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think like any superpower is going to be like an eight, like a, or it would be like a mirror. You could use it for whatever it is.
Which is
Like
what
you
that
could-
story's
You could
about.
have somebody who has a superpower to make somebody just feel good, like to like literally shoot somebody with endorphins,
Mhm.
and you could use it nefariously if you really want to.
Which is what was done in Worm. You had a character who was literally her only power was saving people, helping people. What's the healer's name?
Like
Pansieta?
Pensier or whatever.
Pansea.
Pensia.
And then you realize how fucking evil healing can actually be.
Well, and how bad you could screw it up.
You can like cancerize a fucking heal and have it multiply into a giant Akira-sized fucking ball of goo.
Yeah.
And destroy a human body in an instant by healing.
Yes.
It's amazing. If you haven't read fucking Worm, John, I know you had your feelings on it, but you listened to the audiobook. I read it. And I would say I think the audiobook destroyed it for you.
No, because it wasn't the audiobook. I can listen to anything. It doesn't really matter to me.
That's
It
a
was
superpower.
It was it's the way that it was written was like pure like Korean soap opera. For like it always like
Maybe
the
that's
end,
why I liked it.
the end always had to be topped by the next. There wasn't like really a lull.
Oh, it's called a power system.
yeah. It kept like getting so overpowered and so crazy
definitely.
that it kind of
Wore itself out.
Yeah, dude. It needed like an Empire Strikes Back, like chill out for a little while. Like there really wasn't any.
I felt it did do that when it
I
got back to ground level for a little
You know
while.
what? When she gets caught.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert,
yeah.
She gets caught and then goes over. Like
And then
that,
has to be
that
on
was
the
that
good
was
guys.
that was somewhat a lull. But like when you read Wildbow, he said like he didn't want to write it anymore. Like you could kind of tell when he didn't want to write it. He kept doing
He's
it.
done with book 2.
I know. Yeah, I know. What's the other one called?
I don't fucking know because like I'm too scared to get into it because I
I
know
know,
it's
me
just going
too.
to end a couple weeks of life for me. It's
I know.
so going to be
Oh,
long.
My God, it's ridiculous. It seriously was a 160-hour audiobook.
And that's being generous. Like when you look at the book online, it's pretty okay. We haven't even said the fucking like true name. It's called Worm Parahumans by Wildbow. It is a free book online. You can just look up Worm Parahumans Wildbow, WILDBOW, and it's free online. It is long as fuck and the greatest superhero story I have ever read. At least the most realistic. Like what would people actually do with superpowers?
Yeah, I like the beginning half. The Skitter years, 1,000.
Skitter
times
was
more.
way better than what did the fucking name become?
I don't
They
know.
they,
fucking
they had to change your
Tiddlywinks or
name for
something.
marketing.
Yeah, it was really dumb.
Yeah.
I will
I
also
liked
say what's that like the Nightmare Crew,
Oh my god, the 7 or whatever they're called, the
Oh,
10,
dude. Okay,
the
that
9.
that was incredible.
Yes, it was.
That was incredible when they have like sociopaths using their superpowers to destroy entire cities.
And like they constantly kill their own to find the next biggest, strongest badass
Oh
to
my
beat in their team.
that was
and
so
they get
good.
really vile people.
Oh my God, it is.
Jack Slash was the head guy.
Yes.
And the little girl, Bonesaw. Oh my God.
Yes.
I have shivers thinking about that character.
That was
Bonesaw is scary.
when it
as
came to like
shit.
that was probably one of the better horror I've ever read. Was when they got
Agreed.
to that. So
the fights with them too. Oh my God.
Oh,
I am
yes.
not one for fights in most stories. Like I just get bored. Those were so goddamn well thought out, and Skitter barely made it through any of them.
Yes.
Fucking at least once she didn't. So,
yeah,
oh my God. And then, oh God, anyway, fucking read this book. It's amazing. Okay. Why do shits feel so good? Does that pleasure make you slightly gay on the Kinsey scale?
you got nerve endings down there.
Dude, anal play is amazing.
I mean, I
don't want to
I've
go too
pooped.
far into this, but
I don't think I would be into that. And a big reason is like I don't like poops that are too painful.
no, that's different. That's no bueno.
Yeah, dude. I when I was losing weight a bunch, I was like doing a thing where I was just eating like just cheese a lot. Dude, that blocked me up so bad. That was like some of the most painful poops. It would take like an hour to poop. Like one poop would take an hour.
My God.
That was the worst. And I didn't eat cheese for like months after that.
Oh,
I'm
it
like,
did-
oh my God.
It's so painful.
It is.
Without going into too much detail, because like no, we're like our real names.
Yeah.
Shit isn't going to be as forthcoming as when we could mask up for a little
Dude,
bit.
I mean, it's going to happen to everybody. Like
Oh, no,
eventually
no,
everybody.
that I agree with. I'm just not. Oh, hold on. Legs cramping.
Uh-oh.
Which actually brings me my microphone up. Which actually brings me to a good fucking point of what I'm going to talk about right now.
Okay.
When you're on Adderall, shit dehydrates you like a motherfucker, and because of that, you have to drink twice as much water as you should be, which I already don't drink enough as a normal human being. Also, coming from yesterday, I filmed from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m., so I'm a little fucking drained from that. So, sorry, I just had a leg cramp and it made me stand up. So, when you get dried out, you get blocked up. And when you don't poop for like 4 days, 5 days, that shit comes out like a football if you're lucky.
At least when it comes out tapered, you're okay. But
It
sometimes the beginning isn't tapered.
it's
Shaped like a torpedo.
comes like this. It comes like a fucking book
A book
of the wrong way.
comes out sideways.
And I've had at least 3 in the past year where I was crying, like screaming, crying in the bathroom, like trying to find some kind of like, I was bleeding, just horrible amount of pain, to the point where I was like, I will drink every fucking day. I'll drink all the water. And of course, the next 3 days, I'm like just chugging water. And then I forget why I do it until it happens again.
So the answer is no then, right? No thanks. Hard pass.
Does it feel good because you have nerve endings? Does that make you gay? I think that's a limited mindset of what gay actually is. That gay is not, do you enjoy things in your butt? That is not a gay thing. So please get that out of your head. Farthest you would travel for food. Like, this place has the best X, but it's 50 miles away and it's worth the drive.
50 miles is amateur numbers.
I was just about to
You
say
gotta
that.
bump those numbers up.
You go ahead and answer it because I have my answer. I need to find out the mileage.
I mean, I would go all the way to Southern Illinois, so that's 6.5 hours.
What's
I've driven.
there?
Just I loved SIU and like just the Southern food that they had down there. A lot of the places that were in Carbondale are gone now, though, which makes me
Really?
super
Oh,
sad.
what about that one breakfast place?
That's still around. That's still around.
Good.
Mary Lou's. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mary Lou's is good. I think biscuits and gravy down there.
That's
Like,
what
dude,
that's what I'm talking about.
Driving down south has got their poop in a group when it comes to like anything,
Poop in a group.
anything that is
Bad
breaded,
timing, man.
biscuits and gravy, grits. I mean, the Southerners they got it together. Like catfish sandwiches.
Okay.
Dude,
yeah.
when I went to Arkansas, I went to a place that had like amazing catfish sandwiches. So like driving to the south. So and I think you do have to go that far to like for food to like really change over.
That's very true.
Because like if I go to Detroit, you're gonna get like really good pizza, but it's like relatively close. You're still
Detroit
gonna get,
pizza's the shit,
Detroit
isn't
pizza
it?
is the shit. Like
It's so good.
supposedly the Mediterranean food in Detroit is like some of the best in America.
That I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
they have
interesting.
they have a huge like Jewish and Arab population, like just a whole Mediterranean in general.
Cool.
But I would like drive all the way south, and I think like the beginning of the south to us starts in probably like Carbondale.
I
to
would
me.
agree. That's what I would agree.
And
Yep.
then as far north, Ely, I'll go up to Ely. I think it would actually. So from whatever it is from Elgin to like Duluth, and the whole area from Duluth up to Ely, as far as like smoked salmon,
Is that where you brought the smoked fish for me?
Yeah.
That was beyond
Dude,
delicious.
and that's all just fresh caught in Lake Superior.
That was so good.
I know, it's
it was so
amazing.
good. I went out to Woodman's because they have smoked fish there.
It's not even close.
It was fucking
Yeah,
repulsive.
not even close. When you get like fresh smoked fish, it was like smoked that they
Oh.
they take it out of the smoker that day.
Oh my god, it was so
I know.
good. I wasn't
It is-
expecting it.
I love it.
Holy shit.
And like And then there's like the beers at all the different places taste really good.
Yeah.
Like all the cream and like the fruitier beers that they have, like the blueberry everything, the maple syrup everything. And the
Same
beers
with
that they have up
root beer,
north.
by the way. Root beer is by area.
Yeah, didn't you go up there to like a creamsicle root beer place in Duluth?
Duluth had a root beer fucking store, like hundreds of different brands.
Yeah. So whatever the distance is from, yeah, I will travel like crazy to get stuff.
But just for that, not for anything else. Like that's, I think, the kicker. Not to go there to visit, but to get food and then come home.
Oh, and then come home.
Yes.
I will gladly go to Wisconsin for cheese curds.
Oh,
and
dude, anything at the
cheese
Cheese
curds,
Castle.
anything from like their beer there too, because I really like
Not
Glarus.
New Glarus there.
anything from New Glarus is really, really good. Let's see. As far as like, I mean, the Chicagoland area, everything's like 45 minutes. So
We're
we get a lot of
pretty
stuff.
Pretty lucky about
I like
that.
driving to Wisconsin. So probably, what was that, like 45 minutes an hour?
All right, here's mine.
To just eat. 5 hours, 26 minutes.
5 hours, 26 minutes. That and that's now after rush hour. Okay. This is Louisville, Kentucky. Spinelli's on Highland. Oh, sorry. Spinelli's on Baxter. Spinelli's on Baxter
You drove there just to eat and then turn around.
twice. Andy and I woke up in the morning. We're like, we want Spinelli's pizza. Went down there, got there early afternoon, ate pizza, came right the fuck home.
Well, that's cool.
Twice.
It's stuff to do.
Oh, it was amazing.
Did you do anything else?
No, literally.
You just ate,
Yes.
turn around.
Well, okay, I take that back. We ate, walked up and down the street and said, I don't want to be here anymore. And then we went home.
Do you guys like driving around to places?
No. Well, it depends. Sometimes, but like if I'm busy, that's like the antithesis of my life. That makes me freak out.
Heather and I love driving. Like when we go on vacation, it's
long-
just us driving.
See, that's cool is if you have that mindset of vacation. My fear is like, well, I gotta get fucking home and to work. I gotta do this. Like that's where my fucking ADD comes from.
You got to feed the kitties.
Feed the kitties. That's
you know,
a whole
you can
different
always
beast.
ask Heather and I to help, and we would gladly feed kitties.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The concern is more shooting them.
Yeah.
And if that's uncomfortable, we gotta like we can skip them once in a while, but like you can't skip them like 2 days in a row. You know, like that's problematic.
Yeah.
But like we can skip them like once a month or something. So mine was 5 hours and 26 minutes for Spinelli's. The place is fucking dope. And they told me, I had a friend tell me about this place. It used to be a tattoo parlor and they turned it into a pizza place. Inside, when you first walk in, there's a fucking Zoltan machine. Zoltan, not Fortune Reader. Zoltan.
I saw Zoltan once in Texas.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you get the card and everything. It's fucking
Yeah.
awesome. And then they have a Cadillac that's cut up into a table. So you can sit inside, like open up the fucking car door, sit inside the table.
How awesome.
And then the next room, and then the walls are just covered in graffiti. And the next room, there's one long wall that is just comic book covers.
What type of food is here?
Pizza, bar food, jalapeno poppers, deep fried Oreos, shit like that. But it's Philadelphia style pizza. So you
Okay.
get like that big bubbly crust and like the big fucking pieces of pizza. And they are the only place I have ever had chicken and waffles pizza, which is ungodly amazing.
Yeah.
I got it
So
the
what type
first
of sauce is it?
It's maple syrup.
Oh man.
The first time I got this, I thought it was going to be a one-off. I'm going to laugh at this and then go get a real pizza. I immediately went back and ordered an entire pizza. Like I bought the one piece and I was like, okay, give me a whole pie. I will eat more tonight at the hotel. Like the first time we went, it was
That is
unbelievably good. So it's
What's-
the only thing I
What's your
get.
go-to pizza around here?
If I have money, Sarpino's.
We're Sarpino's.
There's one in front of Menards on Randall, and then there's one up here by the Dollar Tree on McLean. But like they're pricey. They're like $40 per pizza. But that'll
Seems like
feed
that's
me
pizza
That'll
for
feed me
everybody
like
now.
2.5 days though.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, ugh, I can't want to spend that much money on fucking
What do you get on
food.
your pizza?
Always the exact same thing. No sauce, jalapenos, garlic, onions, bacon. What about you?
It's going to depend on whether I like their sauce or not, or I'll go no sauce. But always the same: sausage, black olive.
Sausage black olive.
Yep,
Okay. That's interesting.
always the same. And my go-to would be white cottage.
Oh, you like white cottage?
I really do like white cottage.
I always get coupons for them. Do you want me to keep them for you?
dude. I love white cottage.
Okay, I will totally keep the coupons.
You know what's very so frustrating? I hate that Danny's sucks as bad as it does because it's our only music venue in Elgin.
I always have
It's
to lie
so
to people
frustrating.
because I love Elgin so goddamn much, and I want to like be proud of Elgin. And everyone's like, "You have the best pizza there at Danny's." I'm like, "It's so bad."
Okay, so sometimes it's good, but like more often than not, like they'll screw it up, or the service there is a nightmare.
That's
Like it's probably like some of the worst service.
really.
Yeah, I've had people just forget us for 45 minutes.
Oh God!
It's like, just fucking, will you come back? Like we need a receipt. Like they'll just be gone. They'll just disappear.
I'm sorry.
Like I think the last time we went there and we said no more, like Heather like literally had to go to the bar and just pay at the bar. We're like, we have no idea where our server is.
Yeah.
She just disappeared. And then she like showed up out of nowhere and started like mean mugging us and was pissed.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
And it's not like there was like a lot of people there. It was like the place was empty.
So that was going to be my issue before I jumped on any kind
There
of
was
like
nobody
rah-rah.
there.
If they're in the weeds, I fucking get it.
No, they weren't.
Okay.
At all.
We've eaten there twice, and both times there was so much cheese that it coagulated before we got it home. Yeah. Like there was like this much cheese, and it was fucking nasty.
Have you ever listened to music there?
No, because I would love to, but I'm not going to go to a place if their food or drinks aren't
The
good.
acoustics in that place are probably some of the worst acoustics I've ever heard anywhere. Dude, it would be like having $1,000 speaker system inside of a bathroom, a concrete bathroom.
That
It's
sounds
just
amazingly bad.
Echo, you can't hear anything.
Oh,
Like I feel like it's a place where like the family owns it. They don't have to pay rent anymore.
There
They
it
just
is.
have to pay tax.
yup.
And they haven't invested a penny in that
And
place since the 70s.
They're not going to because we're an establishment.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know them enough to
Dude,
make fun of them. I'm sorry.
I would love for that place to just get handed over to somebody who gives a shit. Dude, that place is like ripe to like making a brewery.
It's perfect
Or-
location.
Yeah, dude, if you did a brewery there with live music and you
Oh.
actually like put some sort of like acoustic treatment in there,
Mhm.
that place could be amazing
And better food.
and better food. Well, like if you bring in the people and you bring in the beer, more people will go there. The more people who go there, the better the tips will be and the better the servers will be.
And then the better the outside will be. You'll grow businesses around it because now you have a destination.
Yes, and there was
And then you build up your museum of time,
right out.
which is just a couple blocks away.
Yep.
Motherfucker. Like we need to pitch that. I still think that's a great idea. If shit actually hits the fan, sorry, we're getting back on to people who aren't looking at us as I stare into my phone and reading questions. Sorry, is that your foot? How you want me to touch your nipples instead?
No.
Okay. If shit actually hits the fan, what's your go-to plan? Do you guys do it together or separate? Ha ha! Nice try, Hegsworth.
I wanted to go to Minnesota, and that's locked down now.
Yeah, they blocked that really quick, didn't they?
Yeah. Canada wouldn't take us anyway.
No, they will not. We've looked into it. It is a giant waiting list to get in.
There's a possibility of me being a Croatian citizen,
Right.
which I've looked into, but it looks like Croatia's like not doing super hot right now. But the plus side of getting my Croatian citizenship is they're a member of the EU,
Oh yeah.
which would be awesome. So, I mean, that's kind of like but that takes years
That's
to get it.
not a
like,
quick
in
and done
effect.
thing. Yeah, that's not like a run and gun situation.
It helps that like because I'm an architect and my wife is an accountant. I think other countries, like usually they'll have like a list of like jobs where like, yeah, just come on in, and I think we're both good.
Get the fuck out, for real?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes sense with both of your
Like
careers.
if you were in a licensed profession,
Well,
you can
I
kind
could
of skedaddle.
maybe I could argue my way in. I could tell you the theory about shit.
I don't know. But I mean, like we've had conversations, but I mean, like you don't want to leave anybody behind, right?
No,
Like am I supposed to leave my ma here? Like what am I supposed to do?
we have a game plan. I'm not going to talk about it, not to like dissuade anyone, just because I don't want that shit out there. We have a plan. If shit hits the fan, this is not a fun thinking kind of conversation. This is the kind of thing like if shit really hits the fan, shit goes wild the way I honestly believe it's going to get. We have a plan that if you ever want to talk about it, we can talk about it way off fucking radio. And
I mean,
Yeah.
right now, mentally, I'm gonna hold off until
I don't want this to happen, by the way.
dude, I hear you. I'm gonna if we don't have any like real elections,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's when maybe like building up to that, Heather and I'll have like a more serious conversation of like a get out of jail, like how the hell to actually really get out of here. Because I have a feeling that if the elections are if the midterms are canceled, which they've canceled elections in Florida already.
Yep.
So if they cancel the elections for, whatever bullshit reason, it might be time to go.
Yes. I
Which
agree.
sucks because my uncle so arrogantly told me that I should find another country to live in that like are more closer to my values.
Dude, I would love to. I don't know why that.
no,
that
fuck him.
that's not
I
a
literally
diss.
I fought for this country and I gotta leave.
I know. But
I told
in
him-
your fucking words.
I told
you
him-
can't do good if you're dead.
I told him buy a gun and learn how to use it
Yeah. Right.
because he lives in an incredibly affluent part of America. He doesn't
Oh,
have a fucking clue
You told me this, yeah.
what the hell is going on, and yeah, he wanted to like tell me how how scared he was because of everything that was going on during the George Floyd riots up in
Oh my
Minneapolis.
god.
He's like, I had to sit in my house with a bat and a very large dog, and I was scared. And I'm thinking, like, dude, you are really fucked if you like. Hey, I got an idea. Tell him you were almost in a punk rock band in the '80s. Yeah, that'll tell him how hip you are.
Yeah.
How you're really a secret liberal. You're more liberal than everybody else, and I'm secretly my uncle wants to keep telling me how I'm secretly a conservative.
Yeah.
What planet?
I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I honestly don't. I was watching videos online from the curfew in Minneapolis during the protests. I'm not gonna say fucking riots because that's just bleeding into the fucking vernacular that I don't want to spread. There are cops marching down the street. Sorry, okay, they're not cops. There might just be enforcement. I don't know what they were. But there was someone looking out the window, holding a phone up, watching the enforcement walk by, and they shot them. The cop pulled up a gun. It was non-lethal, hits it, destroys the phone, and then you just hear like, it's in my head, it's in my head. A kid, a teenage kid. And it's like, they're just shooting people for looking out the window. That's a problem. And that
I'm sure that
was
happened
during
in the
a protest.
that happened in the poor neighborhoods and not where my
Of
uncle
course
lives.
it did. However, if that's the accepted situation during that time frame, what's going to happen when that is encouraged?
Yeah, no.
All right. So there's that. So your sellout movie pitch. This is where I stopped paying attention, by the way. So this is all new to me. Your sellout movie pitch, like Marvel, Star Wars, or another existing IP that's had $1 billion movies, has to be a big popcorn movie, gives you a 3-picture deal. What story are you telling? John, I'm going to go ahead and, unless you have an idea in hand, I want to play a game.
Oh, well, I would totally do Black Magic Cop. I would love Black Magic Cop.
God damn you! This is where I wanted to lead up to. So yes, let's go into it. I was gonna like feed you shit.
Do you want to talk about our script? And
Yeah,
everything
my
we have?
God,
Okay.
let's definitely do this.
All right, I definitely like in my head.
because we have two parts, kind of like fleshed out.
In my head, so Black Magic Cop is a story. It's it's supposed to be a like taking place in the 80s. It's not a good movie. We were working on it together. The original script was done by Andrew,
Yes,
and we all we wanted to do was just make a bad movie.
we wanted to make a bad
And
movie.
we accidentally made a bad movie that was so bad it turned amazing.
Yes.
And-
It was our COVID project because everyone
Yeah.
was like, depressed and like, well, we needed something to do. And it was you, me, Andrew, and John Filer. And we all got together to kind of flesh out the story. And the original idea of the story was to make something that had looked like it came from the 80s and we just magically found it. I mean, like it had been discovered. And the goal was to shoot it really fucking poorly.
Yeah, one take. Everything
Yeah.
one take.
And that was the rule. Is like the creatives behind it. We're going to go into it like super like prestigious because like when you shoot on film, you don't have a lot of takes to do. You can do like 1 or 2 takes and that's all you get because film's really expensive. So I wanted to do that with digital. You're like, we don't have a lot of space. You can only get 1 take, and if you fuck up whatever it is, that's in the movie. So that to me would just be fucking hilarious. I still want to do it. But do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, so I got to remember all of it. It is a set in the 1980s. We have a young cop and an old cop. Opening scene, trying to save a cat. It's type of thing. Everything kind of comes to a point where the old cop ends up dying, trying to save the younger cop. He goes into a tank because he lost his partner and found out.
Not a physical tank. He tanks his career.
Oh, yeah, he tanks his
He goes
his
into like
career.
an alcoholic bender and yeah.
And he finds out that he actually has black magic abilities. Meanwhile, while all this is going on and things are tanking for him, the reason it's going on is because there's a guy named Leonard who is really into D&D and LARPing.
He's the outskirt society, the outlier. Even in the outlier community, he is the outlier of that group.
His dad brings home a Necronomicon level book. He reads out of it because he wants to like totally own all of his buddies.
Yeah, originally
in LARPing.
I want to get into all the fucking details, but that's not important. Okay, go on. Sorry.
And ends up kind of creating the undead army
of undead.
And he's trying to, I'm trying to like remember all the parts to it, but Black Magic Cop ends up accidentally resurrecting his partner. This is the best part. The partner is, to save him, he ends up dumping his hand into the grave of his partner.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because he's so mad that he's not there anymore. It's like, why did you leave me?
And his partner's dead corpse, the spinal cord wraps around his arm, and it's just latched onto his head, and he could shoot beams of light out of his mouth and incinerate people.
Yep.
And the idea of him fighting with his dead buddy's head wrapped around his arm, like the spinal cord around his arm. And I remember thinking like, the light was going to shoot out of both eyes in his mouth, but I think like having the one eye dead and it just shoots out of one eye in the mouth.
Oh, that's even funnier.
Is kind of the way that I see it in my head. Like, I just want to draw it.
There's like a mouse living in there or something.
Yeah, there'd be like a mouse or a frog or something
Oh,
inside
frog
of his
would be
eye.
good.
Like pill bugs and shit coming out of him. But he's a completely inept bozo. He's an awful cop. He's just as bad as a cop in death as he was in life. And all he wants to do is just go to the strip club and get drunk with his younger buddy. And it's a bad cop, badder cop.
And then they have to fight against the evil and yada yada. My favorite part of it was that the what was his name? The
Lawrence?
No, the not Black Magic Cop, but what was the cop's buddy's name? The cop partner. It was
Sawdust?
Sawdust. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I knew it was something like iconic. So Sawdust.
Old Sawdust is
My-
gonna do the roundabout.
Favorite part in the fucking scripts where anytime he did like this magic breath light thing, he would fall asleep. So like when the main cop is trying to explain it to his cop buddies, it's like, no, I got my buddy's head right here. And the head's just a fucking corpse head. And he's trying to convince the police chief to like back him up. And it's just holding a dead person's head, like flipping around the office. And the cops, they all just, fucking want to 86 him or what's it called? Section 8. They want to Section 8 him. And he's like, no, I'm going to like, fuck this. Like, take my badge, take my gun. I'm going to go do this myself. And they're just like, oh, go, man, because you're fucking insane. And then he ends up, there's like a big epic battle, but then there's a whole like dead wife scenario. And then, she comes back from the dead.
I think we had I'm pretty certain we brought Hitler back. I'm pretty certain Hitler came back.
We did a few drafts. So we had this big epic bad idea. And the more we fleshed it out, the more we were like, well, this has to happen for this to happen, to get to Act 3. Then we're like, fuck, we kind of fleshed it out too much. So now everything makes sense. And now everything's kind of written well. Yeah. And the only thing we're missing from this script right now is like the last like 5 pages or 10 pages and some little things in between, but we already know how it's going to end. And it was going to end with a big call to action that now the Black Magic cop, after he wins the fight, he's opening up Black Magic Academy. So Black Magic Academy would be part 2. Where he's not the crazy one anymore. Now he's in charge of other magic users.
Yes.
And it just escalates from there. So, live, right now, improv, how does Black Magic Cop Part 2 go? And then how does it lead into Part 3?
I would love it for it to be like a complete ripoff from Police Academy.
Okay.
We'd have like all the different like crazy characters.
Yes.
And, you'd have your like... I think it would be funny to like literally do almost like a perfect ripoff where you'd have like,
oh, I love that.
Sweet Tooth or Sweet Cheeks, who's like the little quiet guy. You got the black girl with the microphone who yells really loud. You got to have
Bobcat
Hightower.
Goldthwait is in the movie.
Yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait is one of the professors. Yeah, you got to have the crazy one who's pissed off, who like fights crime with his Mickey Mouse watch.
Oh, okay.
And you got Hightower is like just like they're super huge. Giant guy, and in that he was a voodoo guy in one of the scenes.
That's
Remember,
right.
he sat in the back and he goes yama 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 yama.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
I would say that with my
getting ready.
brothers all the time.
So,
Yama yama.
That's
yama,
where you get that from.
yama.
Holy shit! I just pieced that together. So that grows up, and then they become the heroes of Part 2, led by the main guy, Lawrence.
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 Well, no, it's not Lawrence.
No,
I don't remember.
I don't either.
I don't remember the head guy.
Black Magic
Rust.
Rust Do-Good or whatever his fucking name was.
Rust and Sawdust.
So Rust.
Well, Rust would be the who's the main guy from Police Academy.
Gutenberg.
Yes, it'd be Steve Gutenberg.
So
you need a Tackleberry guy. You need a Jonesy guy.
Yep.
Who can do all the sound effects and everything.
So Rust gets
shooting
captured.
actual like lyrics out of his mouth.
Oh, I like this.
Complete ripoff from that.
Now you just do it completely like Criterion level serious though. So when that shit hits, it just hits that much fucking harder. And then Gutenberg comes in. He's the new bad guy.
Steve Gutenberg is the bad
The
guy.
Goot is the bad guy, and his chest hair is alive.
Oh yeah. Oh, we end up finding out that it's like a Quaid thing, where the chest hair is actually running the show.
Quado.
Yeah, it's like Quado, where like they're actually two separate conjoined twins,
And they're braiding together and
it's
causing misery.
all like fucking gnarled and everything in his chest hair coming out.
So how does it end?
Of the okay, so
There needs to be a downfall where the new guys.
Is this going to be The Empire Strikes Back?
This is The Empire Strikes Back. Yep.
We're gonna find out that Steve Gutenberg wipes everybody out and sends here we go, and sends Rust back in time before his wife dies.
I'm getting a boner right now.
He sends everything's fucking cleared out, everybody's dead. He escapes in time back to the future before the wife is dead, and he comes alive, and he wakes up next to her and wakes up next to him.
Oh. Continued.
To be continued.
...
All right. So then the third one.
Okay, there we go.
So we got to have a trilogy.
Gotta have a trilogy.
If it's
Now
if
there's
it's
a
not
girl as the main character.
so now if we've ripped off Police Academy, now we got to rip off Back to the Future.
Okay, but we need a twist in there. We need
It's got to be black.
we have Black to the Future.
Black to the Future.
Black Magic to the Future.
No,
But
we would just call
magic
it,
ends up
just call
parenthesis.
it just call it
Black to the Future.
Black to the Future.
Yep. So Black to the Future is part 3, and we are riffing on, because we don't want to riff, we don't want to make fun of them. We want to take their tropes and design it for us.
Yes.
So what's another iconic 80s?
He's going to be back with Sawdust. Sawdust is coming back for this one,
oh, he's young.
and he's young. Oh.
Sawdust is right out of the military. He's like, I'm going to make a difference
right
in my
out of
neighborhood.
the academy. Sawdust is right out of the academy.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's do it.
man.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, and okay.
He's straight-laced.
super straight laced.
Because he can't be the same Sawdust we know.
No, he can't. And we're gonna end up finding out.
We're going to see how he falls.
We're
And
gonna
it's
see
because
how he
of
falls.
Rust.
And Rust is gonna be the degenerate that makes him want to go
Yup.
to strip clubs all the time.
Yep. Okay, so who's the bad guy? Goot is taken care of.
Yeah. Well,
Because Goot's not the big bad guy. Goot's the Vader.
Goot's the Vader.
Who's the Palpatine?
Okay, he's gonna team up. Is he gonna team up with Lawrence's mom and dad?
Oh, and that's what gets them, because they're young. They're
Yeah.
young at this point. That's how they meet. They hire on interns to do research on magic,
Yep.
and that's how they meet and fall in love.
Yep.
They don't know that it's Lawrence's parents.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not Leonard, it's Lawrence. And then they fall in love and they have a baby, Lawrence. And they name him Lawrence because they believe in the law.
Lawrence. That is the perfect awesome dumbness.
So
Are we gonna call this episode Black to the Future?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you gotta write that down.
yeah, I'm gonna forget that.
Black to the Future. Okay.
Bring it home, man.
So yeah. So are we gonna have the big baddie go back to Gutenberg? Is Gutenberg gonna be the big baddie?
Gutenberg. We're gonna discover that it's not actually it's not Gutenberg playing someone. It's Steve Gutenberg. Steve Gutenberg is the enemy.
Can it just be Steve Gutenberg as Steve
Yes,
Gutenberg?
100%,
Okay,
100%.
okay. All right. So
And
then,
then-
okay, then I don't want Steve Gutenberg to be the big baddie. You need
Nope.
the third
you
big
need
baddie.
Palpatine.
And I would like the big baddie to be there all along.
So it's Lawrence. Lawrence gives birth to himself.
No.
You're the worst at improv.
Who do we have? What if we find out that he's the baddie all along?
Who?
What if
That Rust?
Rust was the
Rust
baddie all along?
becomes the bad, and then he could, because the best bad characters are the ones who believe they're doing something good.
Yeah, so we find out
Bill the
that
Butcher.
He's the one that pushes Sawdust on a bad thing. He's the one that pushes the Lawrence's parents onto the bad way, and he thinks that he's trying to do good, but he ends up being the big baddie
Yes.
all along.
Yes. And then he sits in a fucking throne at the end.
And he sits at the throne
and
at the
he
end.
realizes it with an army of dead.
And because and he has a whole army of dead, and that's the army that Lawrence ends up bringing back.
And that's why it's Black Magic Cop, not just Magic
That's right,
Cop.
and that's the reason why the original Lawrence has the ability, because he's really the same person.
And Rust wrote the book.
Oh, I love this.
That's his journal that he's writing in the whole time.
So
and he looks at the front, and it's actually police tickets.
yeah. Okay, so then now, because there's no such thing as trilogies anymore, they always squeeze that last one into four.
yeah.
So now we need to go back to the future. Now we need a completely different third one. So it's Back to the Future. Lawrence is now the real bad guy in the past.
Right.
But now we got to get back to current time.
Rust is the bad guy in the past, or Lawrence is still in the past.
So
Lawrence does get defeated at the end of the script.
Lawrence
though.
gets defeated at the end.
right.
Gutenberg is the one that sent him back to the past.
Right.
But now we find out that it was really Rust the whole time that was the big baddie that set everybody
right.
on the thing to begin with. So now we got to get back
To the present.
to the present with current Rust.
Correct. So old Rust, as in like aged Rust, teams up with young Rust.
No. Now, because young Rust has to fight old Rust.
Yeah,
He has to
exactly.
kill himself at the
But
end.
they have to get together first. They have to be like best friends. They have to work together, and then there's a falling out. There's a disagreement. It's like, I wanted to be good. Well, this is how you do good. You do good by doing bad. And they clash.
no,
And
no,
there's
no,
an
no.
epic fuck. You gotta build them up to tear them down to have the fight.
I think that there has to be some sort of split that happened in Black to the Future.
Okay.
So his identity is split.
Oh, I like.
Here we go.
I like
His
that.
identity split. So the black magic stays with Bad Rust.
Okay.
So the no magic cop goes back to present day. So now he has no powers.
No magic cop.
Now he's no magic cop. He's no magic cop. Okay, and now we need it. Can it be? Oh, here we go. It'll be. He's no magic cop, and his wife is now alive again.
Oh, and never dead.
She was never dead
like
to
a different
begin with,
timeline.
and he's visiting her.
Yes.
At a plaza in L.A. at Plapatomi Plaza, and he's visiting her. Right, he's visiting her, and Bad Rust takes a bunch of terrorists to take
Obviously.
over this building.
Undead terrorists.
Undead terrorists to take over this building
because
he needs money for some reason.
because that it's on 3 ley lines that will perfectly open up hell so that he can take over hell and bring hell to earth.
Yeah, but he needs to rob money.
yeah, he obviously
from
needs
this.
money.
Yeah, and he needs terrorists,
open up
undead
this
terrorists,
portal.
and no magic cop Rust loses his. It can't be his shoes. We'll just say like just no pants in general, and he'll do complete gags where you see his butt cheeks.
He has no underwear.
Yes, no,
He's just running through a building.
It's just like a bloody wife beater and no pants.
No pants.
Just completely full of gags hiding his ding dong.
But there's no chance. There's no back and forth of him trying to hide yet. They're just having a Christmas party there, and he's running in and out of the Christmas party with no pants on.
Yes.
And people are just watching him as he runs back and forth with a bloody wife beater, screaming.
But it can't be Christmas.
Okay,
It's got to be like Easter. Yeah, you beat me to it because it's a pagan holiday. It has to be on Easter, because of black magic. So they're celebrating the office party, the Easter office party.
the resurrection,
Oh, the resurrection. Yes.
resurrection hard.
Oh, man. Could we call him? Well, do we want to call it Black Magic Cop? Die Hard.
Resurrect hard. Magic hard.
Magic Hard. Yeah, because he's got no fucking
He's
magic.
got no magic.
Magic Hard.
So it takes hard you magic.
yeah, it's just Magic Hard.
Yeah.
Yep. So he ends up. He's got to fight everybody. There's got to be some sort of henchman. where
Obviously. And like they just get harder and harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a
yeah, you
kung
gotta have
fu
your
film.
henchmen. There's got to be. Okay. And so instead of Rust, or no, instead of like Michael Winslow or whatever the hell's name was, it'll be Rust is the cop who's at the bottom of the thing talking to him.
Sawdust.
Sawdust is.
Sawdust is outside.
Sawdust is outside talking him through everything.
And he's in between the young age and the old age. He hasn't gotten to that grizzled age. This is what tips him over the edge, is losing his best friend
yeah.
to
He's good. Yeah.
undead.
Because what's going to happen is when
terrorists.
everything gets said and done, evil
Rust.
Rust is actually gonna let go. No. Evil Rust will be on top,
Yes.
trying to save him, because if he dies, he dies.
He dies, and that's a paradox.
So instead of the one guy dying, Rust is gonna let go and fall from the building, and him dying is gonna be what causes Sawdust to go into his drinking binge
And go down the
and go down the hole. And the whole time he knows what's going to happen, and he's the one that sets it up that he can actually come back as a skull.
So he
to
starts
save everything.
learning black magic in order to resurrect himself, because he was at the resurrection party.
Yes.
And that's where he picks up a pamphlet to learn about it.
Yep.
And then he studies this, and he knows when he's going to get a new partner.
Yep.
Sawdust.
So then it makes you want to watch the whole movie because
All again.
now you know that when he was saving that cat in the beginning, the reason why he was lollygagging and being like a schlub about it because he knew he was going to
knew
die,
he was gonna die
and he
that
just
night.
and he just wanted to have a little bit more time.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Cut. All right, we're wrapped, ladies and gentlemen. We're wrapped.
Thank you for the question, Pez.
There is more. If I would have done a little bit of research, we could have ended on that one. That would have been really good. Okay. What comic would you guys write that brings both of your talents together? Is John world building? Is Jay character building? Who is doing what? And what is the overall story that you two would tell?
I would totally love to do backgrounds. I love backgrounds and world building.
I like character building.
Yeah, I would love to actually just continue
Half-Hour Headache.
Half-Hearted Headache.
Dude, if
We had so much like really kind of going into that.
fuck it, let's talk about it then. Half-Hearted Headache started off as a slice of life, literal, real story about my life. I didn't want to do it anymore because one, who the fuck cares about my life, and two, I really disliked talking about other people in their real lives because I felt it was kind of invasive. So that's why I also love telling a narrative story where we could have some fucking fun and do whatever we wanted. So I sat down with you and we hashed out like a game plan. My dog's going nuts upstairs. We hashed out a game plan for like what the overall story was going to be. And it was always going to be slice of life. It was always going to be like kind of low key, but we were introducing and hinting at shit that was coming that we never got to just because it's, it was 8 or 9 hours a day doing this comic for like, my business took a backseat. I couldn't fucking do it anymore. And you put so much goddamn time into that goddamn world. I'm not even calling it a background. You created a world, and there's so much shit in there that people have never seen. There's so many rooms that we
all
never
the hidden
got
stuff
to.
from the clown. And
Yeah.
like just in case it ever happens again. Like there was this thing that Jay and I were putting together of the idea of hiding in plain sight. That we really started to kind of lay the groundwork on and bringing some things from old universes back in.
True.
Even like old conversations from like back for like NIU days, like Northern Highs started to like bleed into it a little bit.
We were bringing a lot of there was the overarching story was there was a Hellmouth in Elgin, and that's why there was all this weird business and weird characters in Elgin, because they were sent there for one reason or another, to either protect, investigate, kill, whatever. And like Pepper was there to go hunt something down, but she decided to say, fuck that, I don't want to do that anymore. And that's when the other assassins started coming after her. And she was part of a group called the Temporal Knights. And the Temporal Knights were shifting through time to fight things that we never know existed because they never came to fruition. They would stop world wars from happening, and then they just never happened in our timeline. And then that's where she met Hannah, the little girl, she was off of a different timeline where her whole village got slaughtered, and she was training Hannah up to be an assassin. And then you have all these other people coming in, and then you have the rabbit who comes in on like one of the very first comics. That is a time-jumping suit that Hannah finds inside Domani Cafe, which Domani means like, I'll do it tomorrow. That's what it means in Ecuadorian, I believe. It means I'll do it tomorrow, or Italian. He's from Ecuador, but it's Italian. And that whole mindset was the guy was building a time machine out of a plush suit so that he could go back in time and save his wife from dying, or his daughter from dying. And then what you find out is that the store that Will works at, the video store, is a front for a winemaking facility in the back that
was all built.
it was all built. You built everything. That Dan, the owner, couldn't get the liquor license for, so he just had movies and didn't give a shit about movies, but he cared about wine. And then if you went up the stairs of the wine facility, that's where Dan's daughter is, and she's bedridden. And there's the whole backstory between her and Gloom, and you find out why Gloom's so fucked up because of that. And then there's all these other arcing stories, but then it gets back to the homeless lady who is an oracle who sees the future and understands things, and people go to her for advice to understand where life is going, where the world is going, and when the fucking monsters are coming to come ransack the town and open the Hellmouth. The four kings are there to safeguard the town because they don't know it particularly, but they know something big is coming, but they've just been there for so long and nothing's happened that they've kind of forgotten it. Oh, is that a spider?
Yeah, that's fine. Keep going.
No, I got it.
Oh, he's fine.
So the four kings are all supernatural warriors. They were like started off in the US military. I'm sorry, they started off in different countries' militaries. You have Russia, America, Japan, and we don't know. And they all came together to form like a super group. One's a werewolf, one's a vampire, one's a Buddhist warrior, like a time jumping Buddhist warrior. And we were going to have so much fucking fun with this. And then the clown was actually the protector of Elgin, who was overarching seeing the entire story and making sure shit was not going wrong in the town for the people. So even though he was the belligerent one, he was the one actually saying, shit is happening. I need to fix it before it goes wrong. So like he has cameras all over town, and you built this entire room filled with TVs, and it is in one comic. I did do that one shot in one comic where you can see that room.
Or he had like the airship.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
And that was the different, that was the next thing too, is like we're going to introduce like air travel. God damn, there was so much to this that we never got to.
Yeah. What was it? The clown. You're going to find out that like clowns are actually part of a secret society that are hiding in real life and are
Hiding
really
in plain sight.
hiding in plain sight. And they are protectors of the whole world. And things started to go awry when like everybody didn't like clowns. And it was like almost
It was a conspiracy theory.
It was a conspiracy to like have people not like
treat
clowns anymore.
Yeah, we were writing like the jesters of old. They were the protectors of the people, and they were in plain
And
sight.
they were always next to the king.
Right.
Everybody thought they were a fool, but they were really like the protectors of
They
society.
were like the secret assassins keeping everyone safe.
Yeah. And I think we ended up having like the Hellmouth was going to be actually where my family, I was going to build it
That's right, on your farm.
on the farm where my family actually was. And it was going to be tied in. I was going to like share like an old family murder that happened that made news in Paris. And I was going to build this house. All that was planned. And the society that was in charge of that was the Nuts and Bolts Society, where they were taking everything apart.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that
Yeah, we
one.
came up with that at NIU of like it was a society of people that wanted to take the world apart.
Chaos, one nut at a
Yeah,
time.
and everybody like literally like everybody just had to always just take apart something in the world bit by bit.
Yeah.
And like there was going to be a barn that was just full of like some of these were like nuts that could be like holding skyscrapers or not bridges and stuff like that, and that was all going to be built on top of the Hellmouth. And like I was going to go as far down as I had to in the Hellmouth, all built in 3D.
Yeah.
Could have been cool, maybe one day. Right?
One day.
So yeah, that's what we would do.
I would do that in a heartbeat. Like if I didn't have to pay for things or we could get paid from that, I would fucking do it in a heartbeat. And also Norb, there's a whole fucking backstory about Norb too. The ghost, there is actually a giant backstory for him that I tried to lay popcorn for throughout the thing. Like he would make certain comments that when it finally hits, like that was my favorite part, was laying the popcorn down. So that you would 200 issues from now, you'd go back and go, motherfucker, he said it. Like it's plain as day right there. So, and also if no one knew, I don't know if anyone ever fucking read it, like who's listening to this, but like Pepper could teleport. Like she could teleport anywhere. She could open up voids. And then the last thing was she had her bracelets, and the bracelets were seals. So you see her like when shit starts to hit in the fan, like when the assassin shows up, she grabs one of the bracelets and she's about to break it. And every time you break it, you are unleashing a seal, and it takes 1 year to make one bracelet back to normal. So breaking these things were super fucking like, you only do it in a dire situation. And you do it in like a piece of like armor, like your whole body's clad with armor, or you get a special weapon or something like that. Like You know, you get this shit over time. They're temporal nights. They're fucking hundreds of years old. So, and then there was going to be a guy coming in, and his name was Lash. I remember this so vividly because, like, once you understand what the bracelets are, and you understand, like, some people have 4 or 5, some people have 1, some people have like 10. Lash was going to come in. He was going to be cut head to toe in nothing but bracelets. And all he would do is snap them at will. Like, he had razors on his fingers, and he would just cut them, and they would just regrow. So he'd just become more and more powerful. So it had to be like something to, eventually they were going to befriend him, and he was just going to be a dude in town hanging out rather than a super villain. Okay, so that's the comic that I would wholeheartedly do. And I would only want to do it with you. If you could go back and just live one moment of your life, not change at all, just be a watcher of that moment, what would it be?
Man, that's a great question. That's like way better than the typical if you had a time machine.
What would you change? Yeah. Fuck, this is actually hard.
It is. And you're just a watcher, right? You're just a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Or I guess if you know that you can't be seen.
I mean, there's a lot of moments I regret, but I wouldn't want to relive it.
There's nothing you could do. We had something that was pretty similar to this that I gave when we were doing the podcast.
Really?
Yeah. I remember it was I don't know if I can even remember it anymore. It was 1999 when I was working at the hospital, DuPage County Hospital, and a little kid got run over, and like nobody ever saw who killed the kid. Like, he was just walking down the street. Some guy
I remember
some
you
guy in a moving
saying
van.
this.
Some guy in a moving van wasn't paying attention, or something happened, and ran the kid over and ran.
But were you there?
I didn't see anything. I just remembered one of the guys that I worked with, his kid was one of the kids that saw the other kid get run over. I remember him leaving. His name was Paul. Paul got the hell out of there as fast as he could and told us what happened. And they looked, and they never found out who did it.
Do you think this would qualify as like a moment in your life?
It's something that always kind of like comes to me every once in a while. I don't know. Like, I guess to go back to my life would be hard.
That's where I'm struggling, because I think your answer is very chivalrous and very, like, you know, trying to do the right thing and trying to, like, bring justice to someone who never had justice, right?
Or a kid who never had a life.
Yeah, right. I mean, but you can't do anything. You can't, like, save them.
But I would know.
you
I
could-
would know who did it.
You could know who did it. That's like the justice thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really fucking cool, but it's also like, well, what, like, if you weren't there, how could you watch it? You know, like, I'm wondering if that would, like, what parameters are we saying?
So like if we say, like, if you could, how would that work?
So how I took the message,
Because I was
first-
literally like just like 100 yards away when it happened.
okay, then I would say, because that would just necessitate you to turn your head.
Yeah, it was really that simple.
Okay, that would be different. So I would acknowledge that. I like your answer, and I'm trying to fucking think of mine. I don't.
Like anything else it would all be nostalgia, and I don't know if I'd ever want to like ruin the memory that I have.
And that's
of
it.
Like, maybe it's not as good as I remember.
Or maybe something happened that I didn't know that would fuck up my mentality of that.
Yeah, and you can't do anything at the time, like what you said, unless you can have some sort of justice.
See, justice, I think, would be the default answer now that I've thought of it, thanks to you. But like, I don't see the point of going back to watch something in my life.
Which is why it's such a great question.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fucking fantastic question. Because this is going to linger in my head for a long time. Like, do I go back to just masturbate to a memory? Like, oh, that birthday was cool.
Like to see
that's so-
to see a face you haven't seen in a long time.
And that was my first thought. But I don't know if that would hurt me more or not.
Yeah,
Because I would see my fucking self.
acting like a dum-dum, and you're like mad at you. I know I would be mad at me,
Yes.
especially like when I was like in the memories that are very distant to me. I didn't like the person that I was anyway.
I have a lot of regrets. Most of the regrets are not for what I did, but They're the things I didn't realize. I didn't pay attention enough. I didn't acknowledge what I should have, but maybe I couldn't have. And this is where my mind goes with this question, is because even if I go back and see this, I'm going to be wildly frustrated at the point that Jason is not fucking getting it. And that is way too painful to relive. So I don't know. I don't know where this can go in a positive way.
Is there any sort of justice that could be dished out years later?
I mean, a scenario like yours is a fantastic scenario. And I guarantee I've done something like this, that something has happened around me. All right. This isn't the best answer, but it's the first thing off the top of my head. I'm sorry. It isn't. If I had time to actually think of something better, I guarantee I would. Andy's home. Maybe. Hopefully. So hopefully someone's not just ransacking my house.
Yeah.
I was in a car one night, and I've had a lot of like moments of quote unquote guardian angel. Like I fell out of a tree and I woke up completely unharmed, even though I saw all these broken fucking branches. You know, I've woken up on the fucking highway with no pants, like in my car driving, and been like, what the fuck? Something horrible could have happened. I was driving one night and I was with Jillian.
Yep.
Not Jillian, Jill.
Yep.
I did differentiate him. Jill, from your family. And we were having an argument, and she was looking out the window, like her whole body was turned out the window. And I was kind of like leaning on my side of the car, and I was just driving, and I felt something grab my arm and jerk my body over. And in my brain, I was like, okay, Jill's trying to get my attention. She's grabbing me. And because of that, I spin my wheel and I spin out of the way of something in the road, which I cannot fucking know what was in the road. I don't know. I just know as soon as I looked up, motherfucker, there was something there, and I swerved around it. And I looked over at her, and she was still looking out the window, and she looked back at me. She said, what the fuck was that? And I swear I could feel the fucking hand on my shirt pull me. So I would like to know what the fuck happened. I'd like to see that. Do I need to? No, because over the past 5 months, I've been gifted with a lot of fucking amazing shit that makes me wholly believe that something else is here. So it would be nice to see it, but I don't need it.
Still like, what the hell happened?
But that's it. Like, it would be dope to know, but I don't need to. I know it happened. That's all I need to know.
That's a good answer. You just sit in the back seat. What if it was you? You were in the road and you were watching, and
Whoa.
something, Black Magic.
Black Magic Cop. Black Magic 5.
Black Magic 5.
It's about the writers of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Just get more and more
Meta.
meta.
Black Magic Meta.
Black Meta Cop.
Black Meta Cop. We can keep going.
Like fucking did you ever see the movie Detention?
Yes.
Oh my god, Detention is such an amazing
I
film.
love that movie. I hate it when I show somebody that movie and they're like, this is dumb. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the greatest movie.
It makes me so upset that they don't get it because it's so fucking clever.
It's amazing.
I showed it to my cousin and his mouth was open the entire time, and I was like, oh God, thank you for understanding this.
Oh my God. I showed it to Heather. Heather's like, I don't want to watch this. This is stupid. It's like,
They do that whole like meta skipping thing when they're looking through the movies over time, where it's like Cinderella 2. Oh, let me download the work print. It's Cinderella 3, and then they're watching Cinderella 4 in Cinderella 3, and it's like a porno with Ron Jeremy in it. And then there's like a made-for-TV version. It just gets worse and worse. Fuck, I love that movie so goddamn much.
who was the director for that?
That was Joseph Kahn.
What else did he go on to do?
Torque.
That sounds familiar.
Torque. He actually did Torque before. He started off as a music video director. He did like really lavish music videos. And then he got signed to do the movie Torque, which is a piece of shit movie. He hates it. He made fun of it in Detention.
Yeah.
He's like, this shit's as retarded as Torque.
I love that. That is amazing.
But like Torque was known for like how blatantly bad the in movie product placement was. Like there's these two guys and it's like motorcycle racing. And like they're motorcycle racing and they pass each other like knights jousting, and they both do wheelies and spin around. And when they spin around, they're like in front of a giant, like they're tiny in the shot, and there's a giant Pepsi wall.
Nice. Nice.
It's so painful.
I mean, it sounds like things that he didn't want to do.
Yes, it sounds like something like, here's a job. And he's like, I want to do film. I absolutely want to do film. I don't want to do music videos for the rest of my life.
Somebody's like, here's this impossible task
Bingo.
that you're going to have everything pinned on you if it doesn't turn out.
And then like Josh Hutchinson fell in love with him and helped him produce Detention.
What happened after Detention?
I never saw him again. I wrote to him though, after I watched Detention, I wrote him an email because I just figured like, hey, maybe this is his name at Gmail. Sure fucking enough, it was. And he writes back, and it was just like, I wrote to him, I was like, I don't write to celebrities. Like, I don't fucking get it. But like, that movie flipped me. That movie was like, oh my God, I need to talk to someone about this. I need to thank the director for making this because like, this was fucking amazing. And he wrote back with like the nicest fucking email saying like, I'm really appreciative, you know, that you watched it. Thank you for liking it so much. He was really gracious. And then I wrote back again. I was like, look, it doesn't have to be your address, but if I send you a copy some way, can you sign it for me? And he never wrote me back. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to push that door open. But man, that fucking movie kicked so much ass.
Yeah, it did.
Did you ever see Final Girls?
I know you've told me about it. I haven't been able to watch it, but I would love to watch it.
I would put it on the same par as Detention.
You know what I watched recently that I was like, Jay's been trying to get me to watch this for 2 decades now. Ghost Dog.
Jim
It
Jarmusch.
was so bad.
Oh, you didn't like
It
it?
was so bad.
No kidding. How come?
I feel like it could be really, really awesome, but it felt like it was like very 90s tropey. I know it was done in early 2000s,
It was made at that time.
but it was 90s tropey as fuck.
Okay.
Lots of guys with clever lighting and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. That's Jim Jarmusch, though.
What else has he done?
Oh, my God. Paper Moon, Cigarettes and Coffee, which is like what he's most famous for.
I've seen that. That one's pretty good.
It's a lot of talking and very RD shots.
It feels like it was a student film.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. But it's like student film in the like you had some money, you understand what you're doing, and you're not making shit, but you're making like a love letter to art itself. That's how I
feel like
Jim Jarmusch.
It could have been really, really awesome with better actors.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I think what he was going for, I think it hit right on the head. I think he was going for
I didn't
a
like
60s samurai film.
I didn't like I think the Italian guys like really, really kind of fucked it up.
Oh, I think they nailed it.
But Forrest Whitaker did really, really awesome.
He's a shockingly good actor.
He is incredible. I think Last King of Scotland, I think, was probably
Oh
like the best
my
thing he ever did.
God,
Terrifying. Like he was terrifying. He
Like,
was so
uncomfortable
incredible.
in some of those scenes.
Yeah, like an actual sociopath president.
Yeah. Full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, but if you don't like, Andy fucking hated it. 'Cause
Ghost
I've
Dog?
been telling her to watch it for years too, and she's like, I want to watch this now, and she's like, this is what I waited for.
Yeah, Heather and I watched it. I appreciate that she was down to watch it, but
I'm impressed.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she doesn't really like I don't know. I got her to watch.
people.
What? No, she likes a lot of documentaries. I got to watch a lot of those.
Okay.
But
Andy likes documentaries too.
yeah, they're easy. It's usually like music documentaries is something that she's really, really into. What's the next question?
I believe that was the last one. So if you would like to, yeah, that was it. If you would like to write in and us to ask your question, you should write to us at welcome-to-buttertown@gmail.com. I mean, I can hear their fingers already.
You can hear their fingers?
They're rubbing on my nipples, man. They're
buttery.
I patrol these streets with a badge and a past. My partner's voice still echoes in my head till the shadows crack and the dead men tread. Ambulance!